We come to this place for magic. We listen to the Brown Boy Wonders podcast to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that. All of us. That indescribable feeling we get when we click the play button and we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn together. Having dazzling guests on this great audio platform. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best parts of us, and stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here they are. Brown Boy Wonders Podcast. We make podcasting better.
Welcome to the Brown Boy Wonder Podcast. We are back with part 2 of the DC tier list. Of course, I have my guys back here. Let's bring back, you should know him as King Shark. It's Anthony. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Whoa, that's a hell of a character choice, but hey, you know what? He's big, he's lovable, just like me. Glad to be here.
For sure. My next guest, you also know him as Bloodsport. It's Daniel. Daniel, how are you doing today?
Bloodsport. All right, shit, I'll take it. Good.
Good, man. You're just Alba.
Look, I'll take it. Jessica or Idris, I don't care.
I'm gonna say Alba.
I'm somewhat nervous about what I'm gonna get next.
Well, you guys should know my last guest. He is known as the Peacemaker. It's Skyler. Skyler, how are you doing today?
I like Peacemaker. I will accept. I'm doing good.
That's good. Well, guys, I do have a question for you guys. James Gunn just released, or not just released, about a few weeks ago, the new Superman suit. Are you guys loving the new suit?
I like it. It took me a little time to adjust to it. I think when I first saw it, I wasn't sure what I was looking at. It felt not what I was expecting. But the more that I've looked at it, the more I've come to appreciate it. I'm waiting to see a nice shot of him completely just standing up to kind of see the suit and not battle damaged and in complete like regular lighting. But from now, I do like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Is I think it's probably a good suit, but I think they chose a bad way to show it off. Where it's like you can't really see it super well. He's all hunched over. He's got like burns on it. But yeah, I think I'm pretty confident it's going to turn out to be a really good suit. I think the discourse around it has been really funny in a way of like people just don't know how clothes work. Because there's definitely been people who've been like, I can't believe that the thing is folding while he's bent over putting his shoe on. And it's like, bro, what do you wear? Are you in body paint? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, of course.
I like the emblem quite a bit.
I
think it's funny that they obviously the whole point of the pose is like he's putting his boot on, ready to go fight this big thing in the background. Like
he's going to work.
Working day Superman. That's exactly what it is. He puts his shoes on one super foot at a time. But I think the ulterior motive is like, here's our first picture of Superman. We're going to kind of hide that he has the trunks. Now, you can see the trunks are there, but like if you're just glancing over, it's not something we kind of hide it. So maybe the Snyder fans. So of course, the Snyder fans are going to get mad no matter what, though. So
there was a lot of discourse, which was crazy.
Yeah, people were saying like the way he was putting on shoes was feminine. I mean, how do you put boots on?
Yeah, that was funny. I thought that was really goofy. Like that's where we're at in life, that you can't put on shoes anymore. Otherwise, you look dainty and girly or whatever that even means. I have no idea.
Naturally, if you're a real man, just don't take your shoes off. Just get those gross boots right in the bed.
Yeah.
You think Superman has athlete foot? Or feet?
No, because he's an alien.
He's Kryptonian. Yeah, Kryptonians don't have any issues with like that kind of stuff.
That is true. All right, well, let's get into our tier list here. We ended off last time with The Dark Knight Rises. And now we are pretty much getting into the DCEU. So we are starting off with the 2013 Man of Steel.
So I have a bit of a note on this one here. because obviously this is the beginning of a new era. I was very excited for this. I saw this with Daniel, I believe, in the Cine Capri theater for, it was like the big screen in the Harkins Theater in South Lake, which no longer exists, RIP. But Daniel, let's see if you remember this. This was the debut of their new sound system in that theater, which had speakers that lined the ceiling, if you remember that.
The Dolby
they
Atmos, I
debuted
think.
Yeah, it was. They debuted it with Man of Steel, which with these new speakers felt like the loudest movie I've ever seen. And to this
Oh
day,
my
it still
God.
feels that way because
It rattled my teeth.
I remember leaving the theater and be like, I think people are not going to like it, at least our screening, because it was so loud.
Walk
So
out of
loud.
Walk out of there with tinnitus.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was shook for sure. Maybe not the way they wanted, but yeah, this is I think it's fine. Like, this is an interesting movie, right? Just because what it stemmed. It feels weird because I feel like the stuff that we have now, the mentality of these movies and everything, didn't exist in 2013. But like, I didn't hate the movie then, and I don't hate it now. But it feels like you're supposed to have some sort of strong reaction, no matter when it happens in time. Like, everyone has some sort of visceral reaction to this movie, which I don't. I like things, I don't like things. But it's created this whole phenomenon in a way.
You know what's weird is I think I've softened on it, and I don't know that it's because I like the movie any better, but I think it's because so many of the movies after this are so much worse.
Yeah.
Where like this one looks better in hindsight. Like, this movie's got a lot of problems, and I don't think that I would ever be able to go as far as being like, it's a good movie. But of the ones on this list, this is probably one of the ones I'd be most willing to rewatch.
We all liked it in the beginning.
Yeah, well, it came out when we were, what, 18?
Fresh out of high school.
18, yeah.
So, of course, we were all super hyped for it. I was definitely super hyped for it. I think I mean, I like Cavill, obviously. I think he's probably one of the best cast people in this universe, right?
I think
Superman, so. His Superman never really,
I guess,
gets to be Superman.
It's hard to say that when I don't feel like he ever reached that point where he got to be even the Superman he wanted. So it's like, I like Henry Cavill, but
yeah,
best
it's kind of like being
doesn't mean best utilized.
Yeah, it's like being the best cast like Disney princess, but at Disney World. Where it's
I think overall,
you're doing a great job, but
like Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White, I think is really great. I love Michael Shannon as Zod. Like Russell Crowe as Jor-El. Like, that's my favorite Jor-El. I do like a lot of the casting in this film, but I guess you're right in terms of the way they're all utilized. Maybe not ideal.
How we feel about Amy Adams' Lois Lane. Now, before we get into it, I like Amy Adams in other things. Just gonna put that out there right now.
I like her better as Fat Vampire from Smallville, by which I mean vampire who drinks fat and not vampire who is fat. Although
she started fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
fine.
I thought she was bland in this one, at least.
Yeah.
I also don't think that's her fault.
Well, if you thought she was bland in this one, she only gets worse going forward.
Yeah, I mean, when we get to Snyder Cut, like, nothing. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame because Lois Lane is such a pivotal character for the Superman mythos, and I don't think that she does a horrible job in this movie, but nothing about it really latches on to me as like a Lois Lane performance. Especially when you do look at like the history of Lois Lane and be like, wow, like she's usually, if not some of the best parts of Superman TV and Superman movies and everything. So here, she's present. I don't think she turns in a horrible performance, but it doesn't really do anything for me in terms of a iconic Lois Lane performance.
I think we can all probably agree that the best part of this movie is his first flight, right? I think that's kind of something that's universally agreed.
Yeah, I like it. It's well done. It's good.
Great scene. Oh, the music in this movie is fucking amazing.
Dun, dun.
I do love the Hans Zimmer score. It's a shame how much they don't use it in later films. no matter who's scoring it, they don't utilize it as much as I would like. Because I do think this is a good Superman theme. I like the drums. I like a lot of the music in here. I had the soundtrack when it came out, and I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan. So yeah, I very easily enjoyed this soundtrack.
I'll also, while we're dropping compliments here, I do like this version of Krypton. I think it's interesting because there's so many versions of it where it's just like we're a future city from space, or like we love crystals a lot. Yeah. And this one felt like it had more personality than that. Yeah. I mean, there were aspects of it that we could do without, like hey, why do those ships look a penis? But the rest of it, like the dragon stuff, the architecture of it, a lot of it is visually very interesting.
Right. It's not crystals, which is good.
Yeah. So I did really appreciate that.
Yeah. And I like what they do with it, like lore wise, this idea of like this society that used to populate and colonize, and then they stopped, and then they ended up sort of destroying their own planet, but just obviously a lot of sci-fi stuff. It represents what's going on in the real world. So I liked that. There was like an understandable struggle of a revolution, and how people work. This version of Superman is like the first natural sort of born Kryptonian in generations, a boy child, as Jor-El says. So like there's a lot of like clearly thought out stuff involving Krypton and how it all works and how it functions as an actual society. So yeah, the fact that we have a huge long opening scene of everything that's going on there is at least cool to see in a movie, just because we usually don't get that kind of stuff. And I like crystal weird sort of like the trial scene from the original Superman with the rings floating around Zod and whatnot. Like that's all cool, and I like that. But I like that we don't have to do that every time. Krypton doesn't have to be the same Krypton every single time we do it. So this was different, and I like that that it was different.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty controversial Pa Kent in this movie, I think.
Yeah, it's another one of those situations where like I do actually think it's good casting. Unless he got canceled later. I don't know if that happened. That happens a lot with actors.
No.
He's fine. Different podcast. Okay,
he's making a Western. It's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
We're all good then. But I think he was really good casting. I think that just like, as with so many of the things in this universe, it's just the writing and often the cinematography was just not there to back him up.
This is
he flew away.
A pretty gray movie, huh?
Flew is a interesting choice of words, but sure.
Well,
I mean, we do have to touch on the whole like maybe you should have let those kids die, and then of course like the tornado bit, like those were like worst Pa Kent moments.
Yeah, sure. I get the concept, but like execution. That's everything with this movie, though. Like I get the ideas behind it. I get why Superman kills Zod at the end. I just don't like the execution of everything around it. And same thing with this. It's just because people will interpret this stuff as like, oh, you're just not smart enough to get how deep they're trying to humanize this character. It's like, no, I get it. Like I'm very aware what
they would just be screaming in your face that you're living in a dream world, right?
Yeah, I wish I was, because this one sucks.
Yeah, this movie, it's got ups and downs. This is kind of gonna be our baseline. Like if you can be better than Man of Steel, then you're okay.
You're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put it in B for baseline, quite frankly.
Ooh,
I'd say C plus.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere around C, because C.
I'm fine with that.
C's get degrees, and we built a whole universe around this movie.
Yeah, do you, out of curiosity, do you still have the first half of this tier list? Can you tell me just like two of the things that are in B?
In B, I'll tell you right now. So Watchmen is a B plus. Superman Returns is a B. Batman Forever is a B plus. And Superman 2 is a B plus. And Batman.
It would definitely have to be at least a B minus then, because it's definitely worse than all of those.
Minus. I'm fine
let's
with
say
B minus.
let's say C. I think
put it in C.
This movie gets a passing grade technically, but we do better. I say that I don't even hate this movie. It's gonna be.
I don't
sounding
either.
very negative on it.
That doesn't make it good.
No.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with the C plus then. If they change the title Man of Steel to like Superman, Man of Steel, you think they'll be better?
Oh yeah,
No,
that
the
would fix-
title's
that-
not my
no,
issue
That would
with
fix
it.
all, that would fix it all. Yeah, he's right. It would fix all the problems.
Damn, you're right.
Because
It is-
then Pa can't remember that he's supposed to be Superman's dad.
Oh,
Be like, you know what? Don't
right.
kill those kids.
Not just a
Don't-
cold
don't kill 'em.
steel man. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's a good point. If we had Superman, people would remember. Oh, Superman. Right.
Only
All
we
right.
were there, Abrar, to tell Zack Snyder that on the day.
I don't want to talk to him. He
Oh,
made
why
Rebel
not?
Moon. He made Rebel
Oh,
Moon.
that's true. That's a good reason.
Abrar's coming
Did
through
you,
the speed portal, going, "Oh, I'm too soon." That's what happened there.
He
All right, let's
hasn't
talk
made
about
yet.
it. Let's talk about the next one.
All right, so from Man of Steel is a C plus. We went from Man of Steel to 2013 to 2016's Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I hate this movie.
I hate this movie.
This movie
hate
drives
this
me insane.
There's so many problems, but where I want to start with it is just like we jumped so quickly to like
Yes.
we need to have everything in this universe immediately. Like we have to have Superman, we have to have Batman. Throw Wonder Woman in there. I don't know what's she doing. It don't matter. She's wearing a cool dress, I guess.
Show the
Like-
Flash. Show Aquaman.
We gotta
It's
throw
so-
all these boys in there. Movie 2 haven't established dick ass nothing. Like
Yeah,
ugh, they're just rushing through so much of it.
yeah, it's like talking like from Iron Man to Civil War. It's like that's a big jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. It's very, very strange because like I think theoretically you could just do a movie with characters in it. Like if they had just made Justice League the movie and like treated every character appropriately, because ensembles exist. Like you know,
Yes.
you didn't need a Wolverine, a Storm, a Jean Grey, a Nightcrawler movie before getting to like X-Men. You can make a movie, but the way they treat this is like, oh, this is very important, so maybe make sure to pay attention to all these little things, and we're building this intricate universe while Warner Brothers is like, well, we want to compete with the MCU. But Zack Snyder's like, okay, well, you gave me the keys, so I get to make my own universe, right? With all my own rules and regulations. And they went,
Sure.
no.
Yeah,
But it was too late.
He said, I want to play with all of my toys right now.
And then they handed him a Jimmy Olsen toy.
Oh,
He
no.
fucking put it in the microwave and melted
That-
it. He was like, I don't want this fucking Argyle sweater wearing piece of crap.
That's really the thing is like I am all up for new interpretations. Like I think everything can exist in its own right if you have a good enough idea. And we've talked about this on this pod. I don't need to explain myself, least of all to the listeners. So like I get that, but when you do stuff like that, if you could be like, well, it wasn't actually Jimmy Olsen, it was a code name, or oh, this isn't actually Doomsday, the real Doomsday's out there somewhere. It doesn't matter. In the world of this movie, that's Jimmy Olsen. This is Doomsday. This is Lex Luthor. This is someone.
Yeah.
So, like, these are the characters. You can do like semantics and try to boil it down to like, well, actually, no. You keep your nerd brain out of it and just watch it as what it's supposed to be. That's what these versions of these characters are.
Yeah.
And I don't like what they've done with these characters. These characters are dumb. These characters are brutish. I mean, these people talk about like the fans will say like, "Oh, this movie's like too smart for you," but then Batman swings Superman around on a rope and smashes a sink on his head. It's like, no, I don't think this movie is that smart. I think it's very silly and goofy at times. And
It's really dumb. It's also the one where the Jesus allegory goes just like to the moon and back. Like I know in Man of Steel he did two different Christ heirs, but like, did we really need to bring in the almost literal Lance of Longinus into this to kill Doomsday? Like, did we need to do that?
No. See, Daniel, you're not smart enough.
You're
No,
right.
but-
You got me.
And to be fair, you know, Superman and Christ is nothing new. Like Superman Returns did it, you know, like this Smallville did it. The very first episode has him crucified. Like
Yeah.
this exists, but you're right. In terms of the heaviness,
But even the Romans saved it for special occasions.
yeah, it's like this.
And this is not a special occasion.
Damn.
That's a very good reference.
Good point.
Like, yeah, you're right. It's just like smothered in it. Everything about this is just so blatant and so just in your face while pretending to be nuanced and yeah, it's like somehow both dour and sad, but also big and dumb. which is kind of incredible, I guess, when you think of it that way. Usually it's one or the other. You're either loud and dumb and schlocky, like whatever, like a X-Men Origins Wolverine, I guess. Like that's a schlock movie. It's not pretending to be smart. Or you're like heady and like indie arty, and like it's both those things and none of those things. It's a bit of a conundrum, honestly.
Ugh.
Just
Ugh.
I mean, Batman kills in this one.
He does.
Oh yeah.
A lot, and without mercy.
I think the reason why that was such a point of contention is because I think we even talked about this last time, where like if Batman in a cartoony Tim Burton world throws a clown down a sewer and explodes him, it doesn't mean anything because we're living in a cartoon world. But the fact that this is the official kickoff, because Man of Steel's the first movie in the DC whatever universe.
Yeah.
But this is the one where it's like, all right, we're starting. I think we had like a film slate at this point.
Yeah, we did.
And so they're like, here we go. Here's the universe. And then Batman starts killing people. Like, oh, well, so you've already chosen not to do the definitive Batman. You're saying this is this universe's version, and people didn't like it. It's why when you do things like that, or shoot Jimmy Olsen in the head, or have Lex Luthor have a plan with a jar of piss. Let's talk about the jar of piss in the room.
The jar of piss in the room.
Dwayne, come here. We need to talk. We'll talk about him later.
This is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, he's coming up.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
The second of these movies to see Superman in a courtroom.
So
Oh
okay.
my god.
Superman's killing people in this too, right?
He kills that guy when Lois Lane is held hostage.
Flew that terrorist through 16 brick walls.
Yeah, he also demolished half a city. Like it's not entirely his fault, but he didn't help.
That was an accident. He said, "Oopsie."
There's weird stuff in this movie where I remember when I first saw the Ultimate Cut, because there's multiple cuts of this movie, right?
Huh.
And like Ultimate Cut is like technically better, but who cares? And in the plot of the movie, there's a point in which they try to blame Superman for killing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But it's only in the Ultimate Cut that we see that the terrorists got a bunch of like corpses and like set them on fire with like a blowtorch. So their gimmick is that they have that person who's like a fake eyewitness, and she's claiming like, oh, Superman heat visioned all these people to death. But in the movie, it's just people get shot, and then Lois Lane's like, who made the bullets? And I was like, maybe the bad guy who did it. So it's like, did people think Superman AK'd a bunch of people down in the desert?
Also, it's only in the Ultimate Cut, whatever, that we see that lady again, and she's like, I lied, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's
Like,
so much cut,
in
which
the
is very weird.
theatrical, she just says he shot him, and then we never see her again.
The people in this universe seem to genuinely think of him as a god. Like we see the scenes of him helping out in Mexico. See, I guess during Dia de los Muertos, because they're wearing whatever.
That's not their fault. They're just doing what Snyder says.
But it like they think of him as almost literally a god, and then at the same time they're like, but he shot that guy with a gun.
Hey, God shoots people sometimes.
What does God need with a gun?
What does God do with a gun? Yes.
Oh, see, now
all,
we're doing references I like.
It's all the concepts are there. Like, what if Superman was real? How would society react to it? You know, what does it mean if a Batman kills? What could bring him back from that darkness? These are the ideas that are supposedly in the film, but they are in no way handled appropriately for you to really dwell on them. Like, it's too much. It's too much to do for your second movie in your franchise.
Yeah.
You could have just done like one or the other, you know, Lex and Superman and Doomsday, or done Batman meeting Superman and go from there. But yeah, throwing Wonder Woman into the mix and combining all these different plot lines, and it's just a lot, and it all makes a very bad film where Superman is very sad and mopey the whole time, and Batman's a killer, and you know, good Alfred. We continue the trend of having only good Alfreds and things, so that was good.
Yeah, Gordon.
Like him.
Big fan of Gordon.
Gordon's not in this one.
Is he not in this one? When does he show up?
He shows up in Justice League. Okay. But no, Alfred, Jeremy Irons' Alfred, I enjoy him every time he shows up in this whole universe. I think he's great. Jesse Eisenberg.
No, man. What the hell? Terrible
awful.
casting. Terrible
He's
casting.
a good actor. He's awful in this.
He could have been a really good Lex Luthor, I think. I see the vision, as the kids say.
Oh,
But then I don't know. They turned him into this weird Max Landis
Yeah.
character, and it's like this ain't really hitting it.
well, we went from
I'm-
Gene Hackman to Kevin Spacey to
Uh-oh.
Jesse Eisenberg. So we got one good Lex Luthor, I think.
There was a Michael Rosenbaum in the middle there somewhere, and he was pretty good too.
Oh, I mean, when it comes to
We
movies.
liked him. Oh yeah.
Oh, we all like him.
Abrar doesn't watch TV.
True.
I do.
Unless it's wrestling. I do want to go back to a thing that Anthony said though, because I agree with it. Like my issue with Batman in this is not so much that he kills. I mean, I don't like that, but you could write a story that led to him killing and it feeling impactful.
Yeah.
But this feels like we're starting with Batman already kind of at the end of his like story arc, or one of his story arcs, because we start this and seemingly like Killing Joke has happened off stage. Like he's got his what is it, Dark Knight Returns armor at one point. Like this is a Batman who has already done all the things that we wanted him to see. Wanted to see him do. And it's like, okay, so you just jump to the part where he's at his lowest and you're trying to like raise him back up, but we didn't see him at his height. So now it's kind of like almost the implication of this story is that Superman finds this effectively domestic terrorist and is just like, what if we started a boy band? Like,
and you can tell, especially when you hear some of the ideas that Snyder had and what the future was going to hold, and he was really trying to streamline the Batman experience into its tail end sort of story. Because we'll get into the next one, but like I guess future media would make this dead Robin that we see, because that was like in the trailer and everything. The Robin suit,
Right.
It's got like Joker signed it as a friend.
Don't know
And
why he would keep that.
He just thought it was,
or at least not clean it.
Well, you know, as a fan, you're like, oh, it's Jason Todd, right? Like that's Robin that we know that dies and stuff. But according to Snyder, and it makes sense as a movie thing, that's Dick Grayson. Like he had a Robin was died, and he never had another Robin afterwards. And it's like, okay, that makes more sense in terms of a streamlined movie sense, right? Like, is it not a little weird for him to keep endangering all these youngsters? And you know, it's hard to sort of tell that. And then eventually, this Batman would have like did the Justice League stuff, and then eventually sacrificed himself for the greater good, and had Carrie Kelly like be Robin, and then go on and do whatever. I don't really know what the full plan was there, but there were plans to have this be the sort of later years story of a Batman that redeems himself after losing the faith, I guess you could say. But this movie doesn't do enough to really dig into any of those ideas, and it just makes them kind of uninteresting. And you know, I was a big supporter of Ben Affleck as Batman, honestly, before all the movie had come out, and when he was cast, I was super excited for him. And yeah, now I don't think I ever need to see him in a bat costume again. And you know, he's going through some stuff right now. He's setting a world record for divorces of famous women. So
just let him rest.
Yeah,
just let him rest.
Duncan is flying their flags at half mast right now. So let's just give him a break.
I feel like he redeemed himself in his last role as Batman, but we'll get into that later.
The fuck
for
are
this
you
one,
talking about?
I think so. Oh, a little bit. I think so. I mean, he was there for a little bit.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. So this movie, what are we thinking here? A D? An F?
I want to say F. I think this is at least one of the worst ones.
Yeah, this is the second movie in the franchise, and it's like one of the worst movies in this list.
It's pretty sad because that title.
Well, okay. I'm
Batman
looking
versus
and
Superman?
I'm looking at this list and I'm like, okay, that one's an F. That one's an F.
That's the thing.
Is
So
this
I'm
as
gonna
bad
say
as that?
I'm gonna say D minus because there's
Just because we
almost,
need room to fall.
There's almost immediately a film
Yeah.
that's worse than this coming up. So
You know what? Yeah. Here's why I'll be okay with putting it in D, is because D minus. Because even though it's really bad and really stupid, it is a Zack Snyder movie. Nothing's been tampered with here. His artistic integrity, however not great it is, it's there.
Right? Yeah, yeah. The ultimate whatever the fuck cut.
As opposed to so many movies coming up where they need Jesus H. All right, yeah, we'll put it in D minus.
All right. Oh, 3 minuses.
Yeah, one from
Yeah.
each of us.
Okay. All right. So Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. It's a D minus. All right. So in the same year, 2016, we also got David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
F.
It's just such a bad time to be a DC fan in
Also, allegedly-
2016, 17.
Allegedly, no, we didn't. No, we didn't get David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Allegedly.
True. Yeah, this is a
really?
trailer park edit. Yeah, this is a whole hodgepodge of. And I mean, you could be one of those people who like release the Ayer cut. I don't.
No,
I've
release
seen that
nothing
the
ever.
characters that are in this movie. There's no way you make them better, right?
Mhm.
Like you don't fix Jared Leto's Joker. We've seen Jared Leto's Joker again in a future film, and he was even
Yeah.
worse than that, in my opinion. So like,
Yeah.
no, there's no saving this. This movie sucks on every level. On like the most technical of technical levels, it is shit, and it is ruined so many things and so many people's lives. And I yeah, hate it.
How embarrassing is it that the whole Suicide Squad cast got those tattoos?
I was just thinking about that
How
today.
embarrassing is that?
I was just thinking because I saw this little video about how the core Avengers cast got a matching tattoo.
Yeah.
And it's all like
Yeah.
based off of their symbols and like the number 6 because there's the 6 of them. And Mark Ruffalo chickened out, so he's the only one that didn't do it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, he
but
didn't
it's
get
like
his own
yes,
movie, so is he really an Avenger?
a culmination. Thank you. A culmination of 10 years of playing these characters, all wrapped up in one of the biggest like money-making franchises ever, and they were there at the start, and here they are now. And I'm like, that's when you get a tattoo. Or
No.
I believe most of the Fellowship of the Ring all have matching tattoos as well.
They do.
And it's like that's a big cinematic thing. Granted, their time playing those characters together was shorter than the 10 years or whatever, but still, they spent a lot of time together. Some of them in like formative younger years. Then they get matching tattoos. This one shitty movie, and just I can't believe it. Will Smith. He doesn't have a Bad Boys tattoo. He doesn't have an iRobot tattoo, but he's got a Suicide Squad tattoo.
Skyler.
How many of them do you think have had it removed? At
None.
least
Oh my
one.
god.
Margot
Maybe
Robbie,
Mar-
almost certainly. Although
No, she's
she
stupid.
has had a lot of her career grow because of the Harley Quinn role. And to be fair, I do think that she is pretty decent casting. None of the movies she's in, well, but one of the movies she's in, she's good in it. And the other ones, there's just nothing she could do. But like, I do think she's good casting. Like,
Yeah.
if there's
She's a good Harley
one
Quinn.
positive I can give to this, it's that I do think Margot Robbie, at the end of it all, became a good Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
What else was good casting in this?
Maybe Will Smith, but then they couldn't get him back.
No,
He was
'cause,
like okay.
You get Will Smith, right? And like you think of OG Will Smith, like when we were kids.
Yeah.
And you think of how much personality and how much like drive he had in his movies. And Floyd Lawton's one of those characters where you can kind of do whatever. He's pretty much a blank slate for the most part. And people can argue of like, well, look at all this stuff from the comics. Then how come every adaptation I've seen of the guy has been completely different from the last? Like he's got a red eye and he's got guns on his arms. All right. That's the character. That's all you need.
It's
for the
it's not a
character.
good character.
So for this, they do keep those simple elements. He's got a daughter. He has a gun. The eye thing, and that's it. Like you made Will Smith boring. Like,
Yeah. No,
that's
I
kind of a
mean,
crime.
I do think it's good casting, but I don't think
Should've
any of
got
the
Hancock.
characters are done well. You know what I mean? Because like Margot Robbie, I like as Harley Quinn, but I hate her in this movie because she's kind of. I mean, honestly, she still might be sadly one of the better parts of this movie. But like Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. Like that could have been really great. It wasn't,
she's great.
but it
She's
could have
good.
been.
Well, we see her be great later in other things.
Yeah.
In this, she's laughable, but that's
Jai
not
Courtney,
her fault.
Captain Boomerang. Like that was fun. I don't know what the hell's going on with the unicorn or whatever, but it was fun at least.
He has one of the few gags in the movie that like got a genuine laugh out of me. And that's the bit where they go into the bar and Rick Flag is like, "All right, I disabled all the bombs. You can leave if you want to." And it's that moment where in the movie where all the characters now band together and they don't leave, and he fucking bolts like immediately.
He's like, "All right, bye."
And like he comes back, which is kind of a bummer. I wish he had just left at that point.
That ruins the bit. He really should have just left.
But him is like a really sort of bogan Australian is like really funny, and I think that's great that we got a character like that in a movie.
Remember, we're the bad guys.
That's what we do.
I think it's been proven that this Rick Flag can be good, but he's so nothing in this movie.
Not in this one.
He's less than nothing.
Yeah, I do like Joel Kinnaman just in general. Like he seems like a good guy, and he's a half decent actor. But he was RoboCop. There's just nothing. Honestly, it's true for almost this whole universe where it's like there's a lot of people who I think could have done really well in the roles that they were given, and they were just failed by the entire writing and directing staff.
Yeah, not a lot of these people got the second chance that Margot Robbie or Joel Kinnaman or Viola Davis got. A lot of them were just like thrown in the trash or just walked away. Like I'm assuming Will Smith was like, "I'm not coming back for that." That's awful.
Scott Eastwood exploded.
He did.
Yeah, and that I feel was preventable. I feel like they didn't have to blow him up, and I don't think he knew. Did he know he was gonna blow up?
No,
I mean he had to have known it was a bomb.
Regardless, Killer Croc is really short in this movie.
He's very short. I don't hate his design. He had nothing to do in the entire movie.
Set. His costume is Oscar winning.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wow, wasn't he great?
Well,
anyway,
sounds like
F,
an F.
though.
Yeah, no, major F.
Well, Joker will say, "Where's the beef?" to you guys.
Oh, do we have to talk more about Joker? All right. So like when they sat him down, Jared Leto, and were like, "We're gonna have you be the Joker, iconic villain of DC Comics, the Joker." Mm-hmm. He's like, "Cool, I will do my research by watching Ace Ventura."
He reminds me of Stardust, the Cody Rhodes character. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, okay, a little bit.
So that's what he's like at the level at, is a WWE character played by a guy who doesn't want to play him. That's what Jared Leto was bringing to the table.
Yeah.
But we know Jared Leto wanted to play him a lot because he's a freak.
Yeah.
He was mailing condoms and dead rats, and he had people throw a dead pig at the table read or something. What a movie to lose your mind during this.
He went Joker mode.
Will Smith said, "You are evil." So I'll give.
Yeah, that's great. F.
All right, Suicide Squad is an F. All right, man, we're getting DC movies back to back here. We got here to 2017.
The whole list is DC movies. What are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
What's happening?
I mean, there's a gap between 13 and 16. Now we're getting like a DC movie every year.
Hasn't started yet.
I feel you. I'm back on track. No, I got your back.
Man, there's a lot of DC movies in this list.
That's crazy.
Not what he meant. Leave him alone. He's trying.
He's doing his best.
All right. The 2017 Wonder Woman.
Was that a question?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be.
This is, I think, and it's not a hot take. I think this is one of the few of these movies that people look at as like generally positively. I don't think it's amazing or anything, but I think it's enjoyable. I think it's the first one of these that is enjoyable to watch.
All right, so I'm gonna be the asshole. I was fine with this movie when it came out, and then it kind of built this reputation of like being like, oh, we got a good one, and I was like, okay, all right, we got a good one, cool. I watched this somewhat recently, and I was not feeling it. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I get that.
It was the last half of the film for me because that just went downhill.
I
Yeah,
also
the
agree with
final
that.
act is where it pretty much kills it for me, because I think there's quite a bit of good in it. I like the Diana sort of experience in the world and the fish out of water stuff, and I like her and Chris Pine, Steve Trevor. I like that stuff, but everything else I don't like.
The fish out of water stuff is fine on paper for me, but so much of it is her just being a dumbass. Like, it's not just like, oh, I don't know what this is. It's like,
She didn't know how a door
like her
works.
trying to go through the revolving door, or her just like walking around downtown with her sword and shield like fully at attention, and it's like, what are we like? You didn't do that at home. Why are you doing that here?
I like the ice cream bit because it's a clear pull from the Jeff Johns New 52 bit, and it's done better here than it is there, so I can appreciate that like they pulled a bit for reference and improved on it.
I do really like her in this movie. Can we say her name? Is she soft canceled? Do we?
A little bit.
Just say it quietly.
She may not be a great person, probably, but Gal Gadot. I like her in this movie.
Sure.
Which is crazy because like I feel like when she was cast as Wonder Woman and when she was seen as Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman, everyone's like not feeling it. This is not good.
Yeah.
Especially her song. You go, da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's so annoying.
My Kids music. Yeah, that was. I've heard that music performed live by Hans Zimmer, and that's a wild experience. Because I do not like that song. It sounds really goofy for Wonder Woman of all characters, and it feels weird. Did she? I want to know the filming schedules of this and Justice League, because I feel like she's better in this than she is in Justice League, and maybe that's like the director. I don't know, but like here she feels more like Wonder Woman, and maybe that is just the people involved in it.
Did this movie get reshoots, or did this movie start filming after the whole Suicide Squad re-edit by a trailer company debacle? Because I feel like this movie is the first one in this franchise to, from the get-go, go for a lighter tone.
Right. I know there was at least some major changes, because there was the whole Ares like redesigned, where there's like toys and all this like promo stuff of him having a completely different look than he does in the final film. So I'm sure there is like from what I've read, I don't know a whole lot about this movie because I don't really like it too much, but there was some pretty major changes. But when that happened and in regards to what other film caused it, I'm not entirely sure.
This movie functions as a movie, so that's good. It's already a step up from some other things we've watched.
It just feels like 7 or so years too late. Like if this had come out alongside like Thor and the first Avenger and Green Lantern, it's like, oh, Wonder Woman was pretty good considering that lineup that year. Yeah. But like we're in the 2017 period, and like you look at the other films that came out that year, like Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok came out later that year, which I know people soured on Taika since then in his later films, but like at the time that was like a really big breath of fresh air for the Thor character. So it just, everything about DC has always felt like they're years and years behind. Yeah. And that's what this felt like. This felt like a superhero film that should have come out like half a decade before it did.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling.
I think a problem with this movie is I really like Wonder Woman in this movie, and I really like Steve Trevor in this movie, and I don't care about any of the side characters at all. Even the villains, really. Like
the villains are completely forgettable.
Ares to show up, and then it's that guy.
I don't remember the villain.
Remus.
Well, the villain was Ares, who was the Harry Potter guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then William Stryker was
Dr. Poison.
Danny Houston was
great guy.
Bad guy. I don't know.
Real
guy.
Data said
an
Dr.
actual
Poison
historical guy.
She was in there as well.
Woman, which is fun. And then there was Dr. Poison, lady with the mask or whatever.
Right.
There's a part where Stryker and Dr. Poison like check a poison bomb into a room, and
Yeah.
they
Just,
like
melt some dude.
they like giggle. They like close the door and they're like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They lean full Dr. Evil for a
It-
second.
yeah.
It's almost
Which
like
is
Batman 80,
fun.
not 89, Batman 66 level of
Yeah.
just shit eating grin.
Yeah, I was really taken aback by it because it was just so goofy compared to everything else. But I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with it. It was just funny.
For me, because I also agree with what Skyler said earlier about like the supporting cast not being great. I do think that they're a better supporting cast than the movies up to this point.
Sure.
In that none of them like actively piss me off. Like Etta Candy's fine. I think she's fun. There were a couple of good bits with like the soldier guys. I liked the bit where, God, what is it? The Native American. I don't know any of their names. The Native American guy is talking about how like his land was taken by like the people that he is now fighting alongside. Basically, like that's an interesting conversation. There's some interesting things going on there that I think save this movie from being just completely forgettable. But it's like vanilla ice cream with like one topping, you know?
Yeah,
Where you're
with
like, I'm enjoying this, but
vanilla ice cream, one chocolate chip. Exactly
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
And for me, that chocolate chip is the No Man's Land scene, of course. That is Wonder Woman's version of Superman's first flight in this universe, where it's like,
Mhm.
that's the thing
Yes.
you point to. That is the good thing. Her going through the from trench to trench. I think
Yeah.
is the best part.
Oh, that's a good part. I'll go with a D- for this one.
D-.
oh,
That's so close to Batman v Superman.
Abrar hates women. Confirmed.
I was thinking at least a C. Come on.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
put this above Man of Steel.
I mean, the second half just wasn't in for me. That's why I'm giving it a D. I mean,
Yeah, but that's the same tier as Batman Superman, and that's the whole
You
thing's
want-
bad there.
you won't allow it.
The whole thing's bad there. It's got to
Okay,
be
I
at
can-
least one above that.
Okay, I'll give it a C- then.
All right. That's fine.
What did we give Man of Steel?
That
It was
was-
in this. It was in the C,
C+.
but a C plus. Maybe that one should be C minus too.
We had to readjust the whole list.
Yeah.
What if we adjusted Man of Steel C minus, Wonder Woman just flat C? Because I do think it is
Okay.
marginally better than Man of
Okay.
Steel.
Wonder Woman flat C. Oh, surprising.
Attention, all women. Daniel said something terrible.
What?
Just kidding.
All right.
You're fine. Probably.
All right.
I don't know.
I don't even know what I said.
All right, so we're giving Wonder Woman a C, and in the same year, pretty crazy, it is the Joss Whedon's 2017's Justice League.
Oh my god.
I don't remember this movie. I only saw it the once in the theater back in 2017. So, like, I think it's bad, but I really don't. It's a nothing. It doesn't exist.
I remember it. I remember it.
I was
and
there.
I'll say F.
I'll say this. So I was working at AT&T at the time, and this was the period in which Warner Brothers was owned by AT&T, which is not the
Mhm.
case anymore. That was a very short ownership. So I remember that there was a lot of push for Justice League in our store. Like we had like character posters that you could get, and
Wow.
like we had like stuff in the store, and like there was like a thing where you could get a filter on Snapchat and put your face in the Justice League poster. So I remember the push for AT&T customers was quite large. So I think that's my connection to the film.
That
Is that I had to
been,
pretend to tell people like Justice League is a film. Do you want
That
this
would've-
poster?
been so annoying. I'm going in to upgrade my iPhone. They're trying to sell me Justice League posters. I would switch providers.
Well, they're free. It's fine.
This is awful. This is gross.
Yeah.
And it should be evident that I'm not a big Zack Snyder defender, but I am a defender of people releasing the movie that they made, and he stepped away for very, very personal reasons. We all know,
Yeah.
tragic reasons, and
Oh, yeah.
the fact that they used that to just completely retool his movie, because obviously they're like, we need more bright, colorful. We need funny. We need to copy the Marvel formula, but worse. And
But
then
bad because the movie was already filmed and we didn't do that.
And then they get Joss Whedon, who he's a hack,
Loves
right?
women.
Like we all know this
At this
now.
point, yeah.
He's a big piece of shit.
He's accidentally
Um,
cobbled together some good things like Buffy, but yeah, he's
No.
lost it.
I mean, I love
I think it's
Firefly.
okay to say that he wrote good things in the past. It's just that he's a
Yeah.
bad person. I can't say that he completely was like goofed his way through Hollywood. But no, he's just a dumb fucking idiot that sucks now. So fuck him.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it that did his experience making the Avengers movies, was that like his heel turn? Did he cuz he, like we said, all the TV shows he made are pretty good for the most part. Like I haven't seen Dollhouse or whatever, but like Firefly's good and Buffy's good, and I like Serenity, the movie, obviously. And then did he write Cabin in the Woods? I don't remember.
I don't have an answer for you.
I think he did.
I believe so. I'll look it up. Keep talking.
All right. But then Avengers was a big success, and then I don't know what happened. I'm not going to say.
Yes,
'Cause,
written
like,
by Joss Whedon.
Yeah, there you go. Age of Ultron's fine, but something I remember when that movie came out, he was like, I want to kill myself. Everyone's like, okay. And then he stopped doing stuff or whatever, and then he showed up here and was like, I'm going to fucking ruin this. Worse than it already is.
Well, I mean, part of it
What's up?
comes from the fact that he was like a pretty big, sensitive Joss Whedon, right? He made
Mhm.
that comment about the Jurassic World scene before the movie came out,
Yeah.
talking about how it was like old school sexism on display in a film, and it was very much protesting too much because he was such a big like I guess you could say like SJW sort of woke person back in the day, the 2015, 2016 era,
Yeah.
pre-Trump, if you will. So then when news comes out of like his wrongdoings for years and years at a time, it's like, oh, okay, like you were a person that took advantage of of people and you're awful. And yeah, it turns out that like that is just a bigger part than anything that he could possibly do with the movie. Because, like, I think if he had time, he could have made a good Justice League film. Sure. But in here, it was like he was so high off his own ass about who he
Yeah.
was in Hollywood right now. He was a big shot producer on the Marvel stuff. He obviously got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show made and whatnot. So, like, I think he was just so sure of, like, if anyone can make a movie, it's me. I don't need any of you to tell me what to do. And the poor Justice League cast and like Ray Fisher and whatnot took the brunt of all that abuse. And I'm not here to say that what is and isn't happened. I wasn't there. We still don't know, I think, everything that fully happened. There's been so many claims and so many things, and I wish there would be just a clear-cut answer to it. But it does sound like it was a rough time, and this guy that had the biggest head in Hollywood, that big fucking potato head of his, it was a bad time for everyone.
Yeah. Poor Ray Fisher. He got completely Colin Kaepernicked after this.
Yeah.
Like he's just like gone.
Is he not in the Rebel Moon stuff?
In order to answer that, someone would have had to have watched it.
I just feel like when that was announced, it was like, oh, and Ray Fisher will be in it because obviously he'll be a Snyder guy for the rest of his life.
He's in both Rebel Moon movies.
Oh, nice.
He
Right.
is.
Good for
So
him.
as long as Snyder's working, then Ray Fisher can be in stuff, and that's
Good for
really
him.
sad.
I mean, good for him.
Oh,
at least
yeah.
Wow.
we'll discuss the Snyder cut later, but like even in this movie, I thought characterization wise, I was happy with him. I mean, Cyborg on the League has been such a conversation ever since he joined in 2011, so that's a different topic. But as someone who enjoys the Marv Wolfman version of the character from the 80s, back when he was on the Teen Titans, he was a very angsty, angry, kind of stereotypical sort of angry black man character for the time. But he was a character that had a reason to be upset, and, you know, that was present in this film, as little as it was. So yeah, Ray Fisher, I do like as Cyborg. I don't like his design, sadly. He's crushed up tinfoil man, but as a character, until, you know, the obvious rewrites and the reshoots and all that comes in, he's good.
Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
He's good. Well, he's different.
Fine. I feel like he doesn't feel like Aquaman to me, but I like the not Aquaman that he is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Like, very clearly, they looked at Aquaman. They're like, "How do we need to fix this? How do we make people not laugh?"
Yeah.
And then they went with the approach of change the way he looks completely, make him super tough Samoan badass, whatever. Even though I think Jason Momoa is from Hawaii.
I also thought it was a strange choice that not that they made him Samoan, but that, like, I feel like that could lean in so much more interesting in a way of, like, making Atlantis feel at least somewhat like a Pacific Islander, like, civilization. But instead it's like, he's Samoan because his dad's Samoan and everyone else is the fucking Aryan youth down there.
Yeah. There's a...
Well, I guess that was supposed to be a point, though, because we'll talk more about Aquaman when we get to Aquaman, which is very soon. But, like, in terms of this film, there's just not enough time to give anyone characterization. And then soon we learn that, like, everything that was possible was left on the cutting room floor, whether it's Cyborg or Flash or Aquaman. They get nothing in this version of it. No one does. It's all shit.
Yeah, like, we're at the 5th movie and the catchphrase was Unite the Seven, and then we didn't even get 7. Honestly, kind of in neither cut did we get all 7.
Was that so? Yeah, so the Unite the Seven thing was like, because we had Batman and Superman, who, he died. And Wonder Woman is like, okay, there's our 3. Then it was like a big deal where like, here's your first look at Aquaman, fuckers, and his big thing that said Unite the Seven. And so everyone's like, oh, okay, 7 Justice Leaguers. And then people were like, wait, no. The 7 Seas, because it's Aquaman?
It might be the 7 Seas.
And then they were like, do you have an answer? What's going on here? And he was like, no answer. And so eventually we just get 6 Justice Leaguers, which the poster can only have 5 on them because we're keeping Superman's return a secret, the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
We didn't even talk about Flash.
He's
barely in the movie.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
That's true.
He has one bit where he, like, pushes that car and then Superman's carrying the building, and it's like, oh, okay, cool.
He fell on Wonder Woman's boobies.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot didn't want to do that, and so they filmed it with, like, a body double or something, right?
Yeah.
This movie's a mess.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, dude.
I guess. I mean, okay,
it's a bad movie that isn't even the bad movie that it wanted to be. It's got to be an F.
Damn.
There's that. You're familiar with, like, the little, I don't know if it's a theory or a rumor or whatever, but, like, there's that homeless guy at the beginning holding the sign that says "I tried," and everyone at the time was like, "Look, Joss Whedon said he tried." No, he fucking didn't. He tried to ruin it. Worse.
Damn.
Well, there you go. This is an F.
For a Justice League movie, it's sad. Justice League is an F.
We didn't even talk about how he died.
One of the worst villains.
He died and came back. He did Death and Return of Superman in, like, the 5th movie.
I was like, who died? I don't remember that.
What, he died?
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, if we want to get into the whole wasting of a very... Well, like, one of my favorite comic book storylines. Yeah, that's a complete and utter travesty.
It's all right. That's an F. Now the next year, 2018, good year, I think. We got Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think this
I
is
like
okay.
Aquaman. It's a pretty fun little adventure film. You know, it kind of reminds me of it's kind of like a Disney film. Like, you know,
Mhm.
there's royalty, and it's like two characters that don't like each other very much, but they're going to go on an adventure together and fall in love. And there's monsters and crazy stuff. And I like that it's James Wan doing whatever he wants. It really does feel like he got to really hold the reins on this one, which does beg the question of like, when was James Wan's Aquaman like involved in the rest of these universes? Because sometimes Snyder fans will try to lump this in as like a W for the Snyderverse because it has the biggest box office of any of his movies. It made $1 billion at the box office, which I'm
which
sure
is insane.
Which
no
is
one thought.
insane.
But in terms of a Snyder film, this is everything that those films weren't. Like, it's neon, technicolor, goofy silliness. Like, Aquaman's making jokes about peeing on stuff, and it's so ridiculous. There's a big Lord of the Rings fight with crab people at the end and all this shit. Like, it is so wacky that I have to wonder if, like, when were they making this movie, and when was James Wan like, I want to make a crazy movie, mate? We're gonna do something wild. It's gonna be scary and funny and stupid and dopey and sneezy and all this stuff. It's gonna be whack. So I like that about it.
Yeah, for me, this and Wonder Woman are like pretty identical in terms of like how much I enjoyed them. Where like I had a lot of fun with this movie, but every like individual aspect of it I have problems with, at least to some degree. You know what I mean? I think Jason Momoa is fun. I enjoy him in this movie. I think it's another one of those ones where the supporting cast just doesn't do anything. This is a movie characterized by like I might be exaggerating, but I think there's like 6 or 7 different scenes that it felt like they didn't know how to end, and so something just exploded so they could get out of it.
They do the explosion to the next scene thing like legitimately 4 or 5 times.
It's a lot. It happens a lot. The fight at the end is fun, but it's also just like such a CGI mess that you can't really tell what's happening at any point during it. I hate the design of Atlantis. I really do. It feels too like future-y, but also like, I don't know. The neon future thing just doesn't work for me for Atlantis at all. I don't know. I have a lot of problems with this. And I honestly don't know which aspects of it I enjoy, but I remember having fun watching it. You know what I mean?
It has a superhero vibe to it, and I'll say I do feel the opposite in terms of the supporting cast, because I feel like this one has a much stronger like heroes and villains sort of list than the Wonder Woman film. I love Orm. I think Patrick Wilson is giving him his all in this movie. He's going really big and evil, and I like that about it. I like Black Manta in this one. Willem Dafoe is in this one, so like bonus points for just having Willem Dafoe, and Jango Fett. Tamara Morrison's in it, so like just
That's
being
true.
a kid of the early 2000s and hearing his voice, like that's all I need in some instances. So that's fine.
Also the queen of AMC theaters,
Nicole Kidman.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Yeah.
But we're forgetting about Aquaman when he was a kid and he's delivering those bad lines.
Okay, yeah, no, that's right. The whole movie sucks just because that one stupid kid.
All right, but Abrar, you forgot that James Wan put his good buddy Lee Winnell as in a cameo. He's the flying the plane. So how about that?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Also, Julie Andrews is the big monster.
She is.
Inspired.
John Rhys Davies is in it.
Right, he's a crab guy.
It just feels more fun than the other films, and I think when you're going with superhero stuff, being fun can really take you places. Because if you go serious and it's bad, it's like, why did you try to be serious? You're a superhero film. This one isn't serious, and it's like, oh, what? He knows he's dumb. What are you gonna pick on him? It wears its like goofiness on its sleeve, so I can appreciate that. I still wouldn't put this as like one of the best superhero movies ever made, but I do appreciate that it's not trying to be hardcore, have a message. Kind of, it's just loud and bombastic, but it's supposed to be. And yeah, he wears the costume at the end. I like that fight with him and Orm on like the ship with the big rotating blades behind him, and it looks very stylistic. It looks like a comic book panel, so I like that. So Aquaman is probably my favorite so far of the ones that we've talked about.
And it has Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
And Dolph Lundgren,
technically.
all-star cast.
I'll give this a. I mean, is this better than Man of Steel?
Yeah, I think for me,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm saying it's like exactly the same as Wonder Woman. I would put it right in at C, at a flat C,
Yeah.
and just be like,
7
yeah,
Cs.
it was fun.
Ooh, can we get 7 C's in this list?
Unite the 7.
All right. So if we put this in C, then we have Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman all in C's.
If you guys like this more, like, I mean, we can still bump it up to like a C plus, or
No,
even be honest, like, I'm not
Daniel,
angry about it.
I'm right there with you. I feel
Okay.
exactly the same.
It's a C for me. All right. Aquaman is a C. Next, in the same year, we got the 2018 Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Abrar, I think you're the only person that watched this.
Really?
Yep. On the planet.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
kidding.
didn't
No
see
one.
it.
You guys didn't see it? I thought this was.
The TV show makes me want to die. Why would I go see the movie of it?
So I never. Go ahead.
I've come around on Teen Titans Go. I don't watch the show. I've honestly never seen a full episode of it, but like at the time, it was like loud and obnoxious, and it's like, this is what you've done with Teen Titans. How dare you?
Yeah.
But like I've seen clips and I've seen jokes where it's like, man, these guys love DC. Like the amount of times I see that clip of them having to go back in time and fix like the DC continuity, and they push the Waynes into the alleyway so they can get shot. Like I see that clip so many times on Twitter, and it makes me laugh every time. The idea of the Teen Titans like having to kill Bruce Wayne's parents in front of his eyes. It's like, wow, that's great. Like they're not taking it seriously whatsoever. That being said, I never saw the movie. I know Stan Lee's in it, so that's about the extent of my knowledge.
No, it was a fun. I mean, it was adult level humor as well. It's not like kiddie stuff. But overall, I liked it. Like you said, the dark humor there, but it was fine. It was not bad, as they say. I'll just give this. Damn, is this better than Man of Steel? I don't know, but I'll give it not a C. I'll give it a B.
You know what? I vote we put it in D for didn't watch or don't care, depending on how you feel.
Hell.
Abrar did watch it, and he does care.
No, I'm saying I didn't watch it.
Well, then you don't get to vote.
Let's split this difference and make it one of the 7, baby.
Yeah. All right.
No.
No, C.
This is not a C.
Well, it's going in C.
Yes.
Well, it looks like 3-on-1. I guess it's a C then. A C plus.
No,
Sure.
bro, you can put it wherever you want. I'm just
Yeah, I don't care.
Can I
Put
point
it in
something
B.
out though? Yeah, okay. So Teen Titans in B, but I'm looking at this list that we got here, and you included Teen Titans Go, but 2017 was the Lego Batman movie. We're not talking about that.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get his ass.
Damn. Hold on.
All right. Well, we're gonna put that one in C. Lego Batman goes in C, so that way we have Batman in our Unite the 7.
Okay. I never saw the Lego Batman movie, to be honest. So
I did. It was okay.
I saw it. I think, and I was like, it's fine, whatever.
It's
Okay.
Will Arnett fully loaded.
It's the Rosario Dawson Barbara Gordon one, right?
Yeah.
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 Arnett fully
The
loaded.
movie was stupid and a mess and for children, but it was fine.
No, it has humor for both kids and adults. I thought it was fine.
It has
I hear people
humor
love
for
this
both.
movie, so.
It is humor for
Yeah.
humor for both kids and adults who have the intelligence of kids. So it should be fine.
Damn. All right. Well, okay.
My man children toy.
Well, people may love it, but I don't care to remember it. So
But I don't. So there you go.
yeah.
So, people can love it all they want, but they're not making the list.
You know what's great? Out of all the things that we are talking about, Abrar's going to clip this and put it on TikTok.
He will too.
Mhm.
Get him.
But it's fine. I'm not on TikTok, so no one can
Put it
find
in
me.
C, which is a passing grade, I might add.
It is. All right. So
At the 7.
I'm giving Teen Titans Go to the movies a B. Lego Batman a C.
Sure.
Sorry for those Lego Batman fans. I skipped that. I apologize. Same thing for Red and Red 2. I apologize.
It's okay. Their moms don't let them on the internet. They're not here.
I also apologize that Red and Red 2 exist.
That's it. You remembered Red and Red 2, but not a movie that you claim to like.
It happens.
What a shock.
Well,
Next
I
up.
think I think we're all gonna like this one. At least it is the following year, 2019. Shazam!
I do
Hey,
actually really like Shazam.
I like
love
this
this movie. It might question mark be my favorite DCU movie. It's a really good, straightforward superhero origin film with creativity and fun action and comedy. And yeah, I really love this movie. I think it was awesome that they managed to get a Shazam movie working, and they did it in a really cool way.
Yeah. Damn it! Is Zachary Levi canceled too? Dude kind of
I mean,
sucks.
kind
Huh?
of. He's
What
already
do you-
canceled.
What do you do?
He's just one of those guys that don't give him a microphone because he's gonna say something really stupid.
Oh, okay.
Like during the SAG strike, he said some bullshit, and there's that great tweet. Oh God, what show? It was the Last of Us show, where he was. I think he added Neil Druckmann. And he was like, "Yo, Neil, this is a great show. I'd love to be in season 2, haha." And he got no response, so he deleted it.
Now,
Why would he think he would be like? Why? That's such a. All right, I mean, I like Flynn Rider as much as the next guy, but like, yeah, Zachary Levi has fallen on like awkward, weird times. He's going to be in a movie where he plays a little baby in a onesie with a purple crayon. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how that.
Which is apparently
how that
based
goes.
on a movie or a book or something that
I'm
people
sick of
really
seeing
liked.
that trailer.
I just don't
I'm sick of
care.
it.
Yeah.
But no, this movie, I agree. I really like this movie. It feels very like somehow both like very aimed at children, but like also kind of terrifying. There's something about the monster designs that feel like I don't know. They kind of remind me of like the monsters from Labyrinth for some reason.
It's like appropriate kid humor. It's not
Yeah.
like gore and weird, but like you think about the stuff any kid can watch during a period, and it's not too much. It's just enough kind of like scary, I think, for kids. It's good.
And the kids in this are all good and used to the extent that they should have been used in the next movie in this series. I really like the main two kids. It's like Jack Dylan Grazer and the main guy whose name I forget. They're both really good. There are multiple scenes in this that I think about regularly. I love the scene where he goes and finds his mom. I love the bit where he's like, he's like flying and having like a yelling match with the villain, and he's just like, I can't hear you. You're like very far away. There's a lot of wind.
Billy is played by Asher Angel, by the way.
Asher Angel, yeah, I think both of them do a great job.
Who recently did one of those things. Essentially, he took a page out of Zachary Levi's book and kind of asked for a role on Twitter, but he did it with much more grace.
He did it much, not as embarrassing. And
He just tweeted a picture of Nightwing.
You know what? Actually,
what does this mean? What does this mean?
He's kind of a good shout for a Dick Grayson too.
I like this kid. He's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah. It's one of the problems we'll get to with the sequel is there's not enough Billy Batson in his, future films, but in this one, you're right. Like, there's a genuinely good sort of origin story for him here. He's a fun kid. Like, he's a little bit of a punk, but like he learns from that, and it's a good message of like found family that can be in there, and it just has that superhero feel. Like, it's not ashamed to be making a superhero movie. Like, they make jokes about the tropes, like you had mentioned, the sort of like yelling match, but it's funny. It's good-hearted.
Yeah,
and it is not feel like they're trying really hard to not make a movie about a guy in a big red costume that flies and whatnot. It feels like they want to do something with the character, and they do. And I think that's really cool that they just made a movie and didn't have to worry about it being like, oh, are grown men going to be able to see the Shazam movie? It's like, no, who cares? One for the kids. And maybe make a superhero movie that kids can watch. How about that, DC? Oh, look what you did. You made a good movie. Good job.
Mark Strong was pretty scary in this.
I like Mark
Mark
Strong. In
Strong, a DC icon. Love that
Yeah.
guy.
this.
One of the only things about this movie that kind of throws me off that wasn't even like this movie's fault, but in this universe where all the superheroes are kind of dickheads, having a character who's like a fan of like specifically Batman is a little bit like do we need to put this kid on a watch list? Like what's going on with this guy?
I always chuckle at the part where Mark Strong is chasing Shazam through the department store, and he's like through the toy aisle, and he's throwing all these like Superman and Batman toys at him, and it's just like that's a murderer. That's
Well,
an actual killer.
It's like in remember in Logan, he has the comic books
Yes.
that he pulls out, and he's like,
Not
this
how
is
it
all
happened, kid.
made up. It's ice cream for bedwetters. So it's maybe that's it. Maybe in the DC universe, there's just a lot of just fabricated stories of the Justice League and all these characters, and they're all awful and scary. I guess you would want to let people know of like these all powerful people that can do whatever they want. They're really nice and they're good, and don't be afraid. Because they're actually really scary.
There would be someone on Twitter that like recorded Batman running a guy over in the Batmobile
100%.
and like
Well,
shooting
and
down a
that's-
water tower to fall on a kid. That would be on Twitter.
Yeah.
I know
Batman would
that.
be
I know
canceled.
that. But like this movie doesn't worry about that. It worries
No.
about it making a good Shazam movie, not a connected to Batman v Superman movie.
Yeah, when you
That's
separate this movie from all the other stuff, it's totally fine for him to be like a Batman fan. In the greater picture, when we connect it, it does feel like he's like wearing a Pinochet did nothing wrong shirt or whatever, and it's just I don't know. I just ignore that.
I agree. It's a good thing. Actually, the older I get, the more I love when things aren't connected at all.
Yeah.
I love the George Miller mindset of people being like, well, how is Bruce Spence a different character in Mad Max 2 and Mad Max 3? He's like, because they're different fucking movies. I don't care.
They are.
Yeah, just make good movies. I think that you can, if you think stuff out, you can do amazing things with connected continuity stuff. Like if you do it right, but you don't have to. You shouldn't be beholden to continuity when you're just trying to tell a good story, because that's the most important thing, in my opinion, is a good, entertaining story above all else.
This was it.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'll be giving it a B plus.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right. Shazam is a B plus. And the next year, or the same year, oh cool, same year, 2019 is the Joker.
I like this little stretch of movies because it's like Aquaman, Shazam, and Joker all came within the same span of a year. It was like
Yeah.
December to October of the next year. So it's like, look how different DC can be. Especially
Yeah.
at the time where it's like Marvel, everything Marvel is MCU, and it kind of all feels very homogenized. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
DC, it's like bombastic cartoon Lord of the Rings film, very stripped down, same Raimi homage, and then Joker. It's like-
Yeah.
I like that they're able to do that because Joker
Yeah.
was getting controversial before it even came out. There's all
Yeah.
those stories of like, oh, this is going to make people violent and scary, and then nothing happened. So
No, the people it was going to make violent and scary were already violent and scary. So
yeah,
it
it's a
wasn't going to
movie
change.
about how like
Is everyone-
the healthcare system is failing. Yeah,
Is everyone going to get violent and scary again for the new one?
No, they're
I'm
going to
gonna
get
get
mad because they
fancy.
don't know it's a musical.
yeah. I'll get a little sing-songy. Yeah.
I'll be the first to go in on this one. There's a lot of this movie that I like. I think its cinematography is really good. I think the acting in it is really good. I don't care about this movie at all. There's so much of this movie where I'm just like, this would be so much stronger as just not a DC movie. Like, this is an interesting story. I don't think this being the Joker or that being Thomas Wayne or whatever adds a single thing to this.
This, and I really hate to say this movie is crippled by its own hype and audience.
100%.
Right.
The audience is rough.
The loud fat nerd culture when this movie was coming up And when it was out, that guy that's like, you gave the Oscar to fucking Parasite instead of Joker, that guy.
Yeah.
It just makes you want to not engage at all, which is unfortunate because I think this is a good movie.
I like it. I don't have strong opinions about it, but I do like it.
No, that's the thing. Is how can you have such strong opinions when people are flame warring each other over it? It's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the guy Robert De Niro in a DC movie.
Yeah, he was tricked. Everyone kept telling him this was a Scorsese movie, so he showed up.
That is kind of the biggest thing. Is like, yeah, if you are a fan of film in general, you probably have seen a million movies like this, and especially the ones that I kept saying that they are like. So, King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, you could probably just go watch those. But yeah, I think performance-wise, visual-wise, I do think that there's enough here to enjoy, to see it as a good movie, even if it's not maybe like the greatest movie ever made. And with Joker 2, it's like, well, I'm excited that it is a musical, because if they were just making Joker again, I probably wouldn't be super interested in it. I don't think I would be like willing to check it out. But now that it is like confirmed for different and not just a rehash of the first film, now I'm intrigued to see what they'll do with it. So
I don't disagree. I'm a little upset that they chickened out and made it a jukebox musical. I wish they were going full tilt with like original songs.
I agree.
But no, I think the most exciting part about this upcoming Joker is Lady Gaga, and I think that's going to be great.
I'm very excited to see her take on Harley and Quinzel. But
the second Harley. But for this one, I want to say A, but I don't want to.
So no.
What do you mean?
I don't know, because when it comes to the Bruce Wayne stuff in this movie, I thought it was.
Maddie wasn't Batman.
No, it was just
that little kid was Batman.
It was just like if that kid.
He said the same thing while watching 10 seasons of Gotham.
Oh. I did, but if the kid grew up, if we are like imagining this, like if Batman grew up, that means Joker would be like really old then.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I mean, this is just like an Elseworlds thing.
Yeah,
this is the kind of what me and Anthony were talking about in the first one, where like it's just a different take, and I'm fine with that. Like I'm totally fine with them not being the same age. I'm fine with it being like in the 80s, 70s, whatever. Like all of that, I don't mind. I think my biggest problem with this movie is I think the message of it is like really weird and muddy, especially if you like know sort of why the director was feeling the way that he was at the time. Like then it gets really weird. So you kind of even have to remove yourself from all of that, and then even then it's just kind of like it's just kind of like an okay movie. Like I enjoy it, but I would never. This would not appear on like my top 100 movies of all time. You know what I mean?
No. I think I would still give this one a B. Not an A like Abrar said. Abrar, you're an idiot. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix won the Best Actor.
He's great in this movie.
He is amazing.
He does a dance.
He's on the stairs.
He laughed. His laugh was good.
Don't they go back to the stairs in the trailer for the new one?
They do, but it's unclear if it's a dream sequence or not.
No, I hope it's not. I hope he's like, you got to check this out.
Yeah, check out these stairs. One time I did a dance to the NFL music here.
I call these the Joker stairs.
Joker baby.
I turned these stairs into a tourist spot.
Oh my god. If she says, if Lady Gaga says, you're the Joker, baby, S tier, 5 out of 5. I will scream in the theater. You don't understand.
Maybe in the after credits.
No. That has to be the last line of the movie. You're the Joker, baby.
Well, maybe that's the thing. For setting up a third film, we're having a Joker baby. Maybe they do that. That's my goal, is that I want the third one to be called Joker Baby. And they could do a little like Santa Baby, but they do
the Christmas movie. Yeah.
Christmas with the Joker Baby. Yeah.
There you go. We need to get some people on the horn here.
So the first movie was on Trash Day, the second movie is on Mental Health Awareness Month, and the third movie is on Christmas.
The 3 major holidays.
The 3 biggest holidays.
I like it.
So Joker 2019 is a B.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Joker. The Joker is a B. All right, let's take a little commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Riddler's asking for you.
Why is he writing to you?
Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes.
You'd be surprised what even a good man is capable of.
You lied to me, Alfred. My whole life. We all have our scars, Bruce. Maybe this is all coming to an end.
The Batman, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX. Only in theaters March 4th.
All right, we're back here. Let's go back and review our tier list here. What we have so far: Man of Steel, we give it a C minus. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice is a D minus minus minus. The 2016 Suicide Squad is an F. Wonder Woman is a C. Justice League: Joss Whedon's cut is an F. Lego Batman is a C. Sorry. Aquaman is a C. T-Titans Go to the movies is a B. Shazam is a B plus, and we gave Joker a B. All right, how are we feeling about the grades so far?
Who's Joss Whedon?
Oh,
He's the Swedish director. He goes Hinga Dinga Dog.
I was wondering if I should take the high road, but I'm glad I didn't.
You never take the high road when it comes to Abrar.
You spent like the whole last video talking about was it Toby, brother of the Joker or something?
All right. We can talk about Melvin. Let's talk about Melvin really quick.
No. I shouldn't have brought it up. And if you say it one more time, you're gonna summon him like Beetlejuice.
Skyler, just let it out. Talk about Melvin.
Don't tempt me.
We have all on the list. We can't talk about Melvin.
We already talked about Joker and we talked about Melvin last week, so it's all we've covered it.
All right.
Melvin, brother of the Joker, goes in B tier next to Joker.
Ooh. All right. Now we're in the new decade, 2020. 2020 was the pandemic, unfortunately, but we also got
It was.
Birds of Prey and
Something worse than the pandemic.
we'll see. The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
The worst title.
The absolute worst. It
any
takes up
film.
3 lines on our list.
They had to change it because obviously they would have to. I didn't see this movie. I still haven't seen this movie. I have no interest in seeing this movie. A part of that is just because I don't have a lot of interest in the Harley Quinn character prior to this. And I hate to be like they didn't do the comics, but like I like Cassandra Cain, Batgirl from the comics quite a bit. I think she's one of the best Bat family characters.
Yeah, that's not.
The character that's presented in the film is just not that character, and we just finished talking about it's like, oh, new interpretations, doing different things. But yeah, I see stuff like that. I'm like, well, then I don't. That if you're selling me on the characters, it's not these characters. So, who saw the movie? Because I didn't.
I think me and Skyler saw it together and equally hate it.
I saw it. Actually,
no,
maybe not equally. I've come around on it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Why? I just think Harley Quinn is good in this movie. Don't laugh.
She is.
Why not?
I think Harley Quinn is good in this movie. It's now I completely understand why you guys wouldn't like it, why I don't care for it as much as I could, because it is very much that kind of Deadpool humor. It's the same way that Harley Quinn in like 2013 through I don't know, a while. Yeah, now I guess. Became like DC's Deadpool, even though it's not great. This movie kind of copies that a bit, which isn't super great, but I do think she's funny-ish. I like Margot Robbie in it. A big problem, I'm not going to say the big problem, but a big problem with this movie, it's not just that the title is long and bullshit. The movie should have been called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
Like calling it Birds
Yeah.
of Prey is a huge fucking mistake
it
because
is.
first of all, they're barely in it.
Yeah,
Second of
that's what I
all,
hear.
like you said, they're not the great. They're not from the comics. Like you have Black Canary and you have the Huntress, and you don't have Batgirl. Instead, you have Rosie Perez, which is all right.
Well-
I don't know. Harley Quinn's okay in this. It kind of has similar-ish humor to the animated Harley Quinn show, which is
Mm.
Which I
fine.
also haven't seen.
um it's so I'm not gonna put this in an F, but I would say like a D plus.
Well, I would like to hear, because I just now remembered during your little speech there.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Yeah.
the
Oh.
villain of the
Yep,
movie.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
No,
Daniel
yeah,
hates it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the your favorite Batman villain is Roman Sionis, the Black Mask.
My favorite
Oh.
like B tier Batman villain, I would say, because he's
Right.
definitely so rarely used well, as exemplified by this and pretty much everything else. He's awful in this. He's really bad in this because it's like, and I don't blame Ewan McGregor. I think he's great as a person and also an actor, but it's just like,
I don't know.
It
He
really
might have made
felt
Rebecca
like-
Ferguson cry.
it really felt like when they were writing this movie that they were like, we need a villain that no one will care about, so we can just do whatever the hell we want with him. And I
Yeah.
was the only one upset by that choice.
Yeah.
They do some things that are very similar to things that he would do, like he would torture people and cut their face off, like he is that sort of weird vindictive guy, but then they also make him this like weird petulant child and like really flamboyant, and it's like, okay, well, there's other villains who are that. You could have just gone for there's like the flamingo guy, like you could have gone for him.
Yeah, the Grant Morrison
Like-
character. Yeah.
Like there are a ton of other characters who are more like what you were trying to get, and instead you took this other character and then just didn't touch on any of the things that make him interesting, and instead just jobbed him out like everyone else does in everything that he has ever appeared in. And it's a real bummer. It's a real bummer. They also continue the trend of just like, hey, we're gonna put Zaz in here, and he's gonna be just a guy. We're gonna give him the Zaz name for seemingly no reason, just because like people who I guess played the Arkham games will be like, wow, it's that guy.
He's surprisingly in a lot. He's in Batman Begins. He's in this.
Yeah.
Like, for a character, he's in more things than some very prominent Batman villains, which is kind of funny.
And other than will likely be seen holding a knife in one scene of all these movies, is a completely different character in almost all of them.
He's got tally marks. That's fine. That's enough.
Yeah.
The problem is the Arkham version is so good.
Yeah.
I think he's really good in those.
Right.
It's there's so much of this movie that really deeply irritates me, and that's one of the things, and it's like a specific issue for me because most people don't care about that character at all. But a lot of the other stuff is just like, I don't think it's shot particularly well. I don't think that Black Mask or his goons ever come off as even remotely interesting or intimidating. I don't think the relationship between the birds, I guess, is very well like put together. Like, I don't understand why any of them become friends. I don't know. There's just so much of this that just doesn't work for me at all. It's not the worst one on this list.
The
but
Birds
I
of
would
Prey,
also put it in like a D.
the Birds of Prey themselves are a massive letdown. They're next to nothing in this.
You didn't like Mary?
Mary
I don't
Elizabeth
even know
Winstead,
what
I
character
like
you're
I
saying.
like her quite a bit. Mary Elizabeth Winstead played the Huntress.
No, yeah. I just
Um,
didn't connect the actress's name.
but I don't. She rides around on a motorcycle and kills some people, and then
She felt like she was doing her Sky High character, but just slightly more murderous.
it's
Harley Quinn stole the movie. I mean,
well, because
hence
it's
the
supposed
name.
to be her movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else was for me was whatever.
As a Harley Quinn movie, I think it's fine. As a Birds of Prey movie, I think it's bad. So D+ is what I say.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I mean, they killed Jared Leto in the beginning.
No, they didn't.
She just blew up the Ace Chemicals factory.
Yeah, she blew up a factory.
He wasn't in there.
I thought he was in
They
there.
should have said he was in there.
That's not like the source
And
of
there
his
he
power.
goes.
He didn't have his
You see his
Horcruxes
arm.
in there.
His arms flying out the window. We're like, and look, it's the Joker. He's in there. We swear.
All right.
Joker
So
had to return to his home planet.
the 2020's Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn is a D+. All right.
Hear that, Birds of Prey fans? I fought for that D+.
Yes, sir. In the same year, the COVID year, we got another doozy here. We got a
All right.
Loser.
Wonder 1984.
I am not fighting for this movie.
No one will.
Me either.
This is the movie where they made Wonder Woman accidentally a rapist.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if it was an accident.
This movie's pretty funny. Yeah, this is like a technically like a streaming movie because there was during their whole plan of like, we'll put movies on streaming because we can't go to the theater no more.
Birds of
Yeah.
Prey made no money.
We can't do nothing. And yeah, this one is a lot goofier. It's a lot sillier, but I think I like it because of that. Which I guess is a bit of a trend if we're talking about these lists here. But yeah, like I liked the sort of over the top Maxwell Lord character, but played by Pedro Pascal. I liked the sort of idea of like 80s greed. That was a pretty common idea of like, oh, everything is bigger in the 80s. Everyone wants, bigger hair and they want more and they want all these things. You look at the characters like Hulk Hogan is such an icon of like 80s culture.
He should have
Yeah,
been in this.
Yeah, like Gremlins too. Why not?
He should have played Zeus.
So like I like those ideas behind it. But it's too long. It's too much. And there is things in it that now are very current. I mean, they were always relevant, but like they're very relevant now. And considering what kind of person Gal is, it is interesting that those things are in the movie. But I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
They switched the story
Also-
with Chris Pine and Wonder Woman with the fish out of the water thing from the first one. Now it's Chris Pine. He's out of the pond.
That's true.
It's a smaller water.
It reminds me of Superman 3 and X-Men Apocalypse. So that's where I kind of have it in my brain, but not as good as either of those films.
All right, what did we rank X-Men Apocalypse? Go find that.
Yeah, go dig that up
One
while I
moment.
talk shit about this movie.
Go ahead.
I hate this movie. It's not, again, it may not be the worst one on this list, but I think it's pretty close to the bottom for me. There's a lot of this that just doesn't work at all. The whole like opening, is it the opening or is it later where she's like doing the Olympics thing as a child? And
That's the opening. It's like 20 minutes or something.
she like cheats, and that's supposed to somehow tell us that like you have to earn things, and so later when the wishes are being reversed, like somehow that's related, but it doesn't really ever connect super well.
No.
I think this is one of the only performances of Pedro Pascal's that I genuinely hate. I don't think he does a good job at any point, especially not when he's like standing in the glowing light tube that Zordon's head is going to be in a couple years and yelling "granted" a lot. I don't know what's going on there. There's a lot of the like CG on the like gold eagle suit and on Cheetah, obviously, that just looks like ass. And they try to hide Cheetah a lot because they keep her in the dark. They think no, it's because it looks really bad.
It's crazy that Cheetah design, and it's this is gonna sound like I'm pro CW outfit kind of ideas, I'm not, for the record. But there's that part where she shows up when they fight in the White House.
Oh, yeah.
She should have just looked like that for the rest of the movie. She didn't have to actually become a cheetah for me.
It would have been less annoying to me.
Yeah.
Because it's also, like, the reason for her becoming the cheetah in this is that she touched the wishing stone and was like, I want to be an apex predator.
Apex predator.
I'll put
Yeah, like
tiger
the
blood
cheetah.
in my ass.
Yeah.
Oh.
The cheetah needs to be a commitment, you know? The cheetah character in the comics is kind of like Wonder Woman's main villain, right? It's like her Joker, Lex Luthor. So you could have done that really well with a mixture of like practical and CG, but you're right, because she's only cheetah for like the last fight scene of the film in the dark on like a mountainside or whatever the fuck. It's like, why? Yeah, why? Why did she need to be in it? It's like, well, because she had to fight somebody. You know, Superman. Wonder Woman's got to fight some character that she
a fight
has.
had to occur.
The cheetah. That's the most iconic one that we got, and it's going to be Kristen Wiig for some reason. So very bizarre choices all around. I guess that's it. It's like this whole thing. Every choice that they make is like, that's what you're going to do? Okay. And in the results, it's like the exact opposite of what people like about the first Wonder Woman. So, and thus it got Patty Jenkins sort of put on ice there for a little bit. We don't know. She still hasn't made her Star Wars movie, and she's obviously not making another Wonder Woman movie. So we'll find out what happens.
I still don't think that I blame her entirely for this. Like, I think she is probably a good director.
No, movies are collaborative efforts. You can't blame one person.
Yeah, like she's probably fine. And there are things about this movie that I like. I don't know, don't hate, I guess. I do actually think that the first fight between Cheetah and Wonder Woman at the White House is like pretty well shot. Like, I think it's pretty entertaining. Asim Chowdhury shows up for like 5 seconds, so that's always fun. I think there's a lot of like aesthetic stuff that's interesting. Like, they play with the 80s in a couple interesting ways. I don't think they go far enough with it, but there's some interesting things they do with like the TV commercials and all that. I don't think it's the worst movie in the world, but I think at the time I was watching it, I did. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. No. What? That's it. That's interesting. Because I've watched this movie 2 times in my life. Right.
Same.
When it came out, and then as a rewatch. Right. So, yeah. Right now, you're like, okay, well, so there's this and it's fine, and so as long as you're not watching it, you're okay. But both times I've watched it, I've wanted to tear my eyes out. So I don't know what the deal is.
Don't
there.
watch it.
Yeah,
I've only seen it once, and I'm fine. So
are we putting it in a D if you don't watch, or
just don't think about it again?
I'd be fine putting this in F if I'm being honest, but we could put it in D if someone else thinks it's not worthy of an F.
Well, someone
I'm
asked.
fine either way, but I think I would lean to F.
Someone asked about X-Men Apocalypse. Sorry, it took me a while.
I did that.
Okay, it took me a while because it was a password protected here, but I got the result here. It's a C. We get that a C.
Give it a C.
So Wonder Woman gets a D minus.
All right. D minus.
I want to give it an F.
Then give it an F. It's your list.
Fucking F.
I'm also happy with an F.
Put it in F.
There's that scene where Wonder Woman was trying to save those kids, but then the kids look like dolls and did not look good at all. So
there's also the one where she flew by lassoing lightning.
Yeah, that was awesome. You know,
fine. That's weird superhero stuff. I don't mind that.
You know what? We came very close to putting this in D, but then I remember she raped that guy. So
she did do that.
F.
All right.
I like how Abrar always makes his entire basis of a letter off of one scene. He'll mention one scene in a movie and be like,
I like that scene.
But that kid that was Aquaman in the had the horrible line.
You know what? But
that kid was terrible.
He's always right. He's always right.
You always chime in and go,
he finds the one scene that defines the movie.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. Do you guys think if the third one of these had ended up happening, because there was like supposed to be one at one point, do you think they would have gone back to more magical stuff and done like a Cersei villain, or do you think they would have gone like followed the trend to more like business stuff and done Veronica Cale?
The rumor was that it was going to be Cersei. Is that one was going to go to hell? So like that was the supposed third.
Look at this guy being like, I read Wonder Woman comics. Look at this.
I do, and only recently.
I like that. Well, Wonder Woman 1984. I'll give it an F plus for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Just for you.
All right. The following year, the 2021 James Gunn's own The Suicide Squad.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We can talk about a good movie that people like. And,
I like this movie.
Have we had any movies in this recording so far that was A or higher?
We had
No.
one we had one that we talked about putting in A. I think Shazam we talked about putting in A and then
settled
put in
in B though.
Yeah, B
Yeah.
plus.
Okay, well then this one is gonna break
It's gotta
that.
be
I think
it's got to be an A.
at
I mean,
least.
it's so
Honestly,
good,
with
it's gonna
how
make
bad
a
the rest of
universe.
this list is, yeah, with how bad the rest of this list is, I could put it in S personally, even though there's like a couple of things I don't love about it.
S for Suicide Squad. You know,
Wait,
Oh, there it
what
is.
parts? Wait, what part you don't like about it?
There's just a couple of. It's not that I like.
Ratcatcher.
It's not
and
that I
Harley
don't
Quinn
like
and-
it. Yeah, I hate the women.
Oh
famously
my
sexist.
god!
No, there's just a handful of things that just don't fully connect for me. I think there's the one scene where where I keep wanting to call him Deadshot, where Bloodsport and Peacemaker are going through the camp and having like a bigger dick contest, and like that part is funny, but it just didn't work for me the way I think it worked for a lot of other people. There were some side characters that I feel like we didn't really do anything with, like the leader of the rebels or whatever, and that guy that Harley stabbed. Like they felt like they were completely unnecessary, other than just to like somewhat further these other character stories, which is fine. Again, I'm not upset with any part of it. It's just like there are things where there are places in which I think there is some missed opportunities. But no, I in general, this is no, not even in general. This is my favorite of these movies for sure.
yeah, I mean, it has a lot going for it. It's made by someone that clearly has such an amazing reverence for the source material, and I don't mean just adapting panel to panel or pulling dialogue. And sure, you know, like John Ostrander, the writer of the original Suicide Squad comic, the one that we all sort of think of, like it has a cameo in the movie, so like he has that sort of pull, but at the same time, it's not slavish. It does do its own thing. It does sort of evolve past that into what he wants it to be. Yeah, Peacemaker is a totally different character, but hey, it works within the context of this version of these characters in this lore. There's just so much fun to it. I love the title cards that come up. I love that the Suicide Squad for the first time feels like people could die. You know, the first one,
And
it's
they
like
do.
we
true.
have the introduction of like Slipknot in that 2016 film,
Oh
and it's
god!
like, oh, that's the guy that's gonna die, and no one else is gonna have any issues, other than like a
Nope.
big sacrifice from the Diablo guy. But in this, we literally introduced
And
a
Scott
whole
Eastwood.
team, and
That's Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood, who was supposed to be Shia LaBeouf, by the way. But here, a whole ass team, and then later even more members that just straight up die, and it's like, wow, people can die in this, and it's
That's kind of the whole
R-rated,
point.
and it's bloody, and it's all these things. It's like this is what the Suicide Squad should be, and arguably they've never managed to capture this in any form before or since in
Yeah.
terms of comics, video games, TV shows, whatever. So that's impressive. They actually made me like the Suicide Squad.
It's such a fun movie. It's so fun.
Yeah.
That's your mom.
Polka dot
Did
man.
you guys know that Pete Davidson's character Blackguard, his name is Dick Hertz?
Mm-hmm.
That fits.
I didn't
Really?
know that. His name is Richard Hertz.
Way to go, dude. Way to
Also-
go.
And I was like, is that a James Gunn joke? And I went, nope, it's in the comics. His name was Dick Hertz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to John Cena. I mean, I feel like this guy's been getting a lot of like hate in his earlier movies, but I think this movie he really carried the whole. I don't know if he carried the whole movie, but it was a big
He held
spotlight
his
on
own
him.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the standouts. I think the three people who obviously really carry this are him, Margot Robbie, and Idris Elba. I think all three of them do fantastic jobs in this, and all of the rest of the squad members, even the ones who die in like the opening scene, I had fun with all of them. There wasn't a single one where I was like, I don't really like that one. Maybe Mongal, I guess she didn't really
I
do
knew
anything.
you were gonna say Mongal. I just
Fucking Mongal,
He hates
I guess. Because I don't even. All I remember her doing was like jumping on that helicopter and then dying.
She got my goat Boomerang killed.
Oh yeah,
right.
I do kind of wish Boomerang had been in more of this, but
He's
the movie
really
was still
funny
good
though.
without him. So.
That whole bit of like old names and letters, dickhead. I love that. He was just so good.
They really let him shine in the very little time that he had.
Yeah,
No, Cena is always a standout, isn't he? Like in just about everything he's in. Bumblebee. I recently watched his new movie Ricky Stenicki, which
I watched that too.
Was that good?
It was
He's
whatever.
funny.
But
he himself is really funny.
Yeah, if you watch it for him, really. So
yeah. And he got a TV show out of this movie. You know, like the fact that we got Peacemaker as a show,
great TV show.
Yeah, it's one of the best comic book shows of all time. So, I mean, everything about this is it looked like everyone that made it had a good time. The movie itself is really good, and since then we've only had good things happen because of it. It is the opposite in every possible way of the last movie to feature the Suicide Squad name. So, and it's just it's a wonderful win. It's a shame that people will needlessly hate on this movie. If the comedy's not your thing, if you're not into gore, I can completely understand that. But there is a sort of innate dislike towards this movie just due to the nature of it and the director and everything, which I think is incredibly unfair.
That hate didn't start when it came out, did it? It started once the new universe was announced, did it not?
No, it started when it came out because there was to dig, I guess, deep into the time that it came out. There was a very, very small vocal minority where, you know, how Zack Snyder is a producer on the film technically because he's like an executive producer on every one of his movies.
Sure.
And the opening credit sequence is the song. You know, those are people who died. And it's playing over all the dead bodies in a very comical way. And obviously his name is up during one of those pieces of the law. You know, the lyrics are playing over it. And people thought that was like some inappropriate jab at the real life events of his family.
That when is in reality,
what a pull.
It absolutely is. And it's like, you know, that was in the song that James Gunn wrote and he directed, right? Like, if you want to look at that, arguably one of the best movies that Snyder's ever made was the Dawn of the Dead remake, and it's like those two made that movie together. So if you want to pretend there's some feud or anything between these two or whatever, like that's just not true, as it is with most big like companies or people or whatever.
They have this weird childish Fortnite mindset where they think James Gunn ran in the office and was like, haha, loser, it's mine now, get out, fuck you. It's like, are you serious? How old are we here? And the sad part is, I know a lot of these dudes are like in their 40s.
Yeah,
it's real tribalism about directors of movies that are like
made for children,
or adult children in some cases. So it is strange just how much drama has to be tied to it. But in terms of a comic movie that does everything right without having to be a one-to-one with the comics, I think James Gunn is perfect at that. He hasn't made a comic book movie yet that I haven't liked, and most of them I actually love, so that's really impressive.
Are we falling towards S or an A here?
I'm gonna say S.
Yeah, why not S?
Yeah, all right, S. And for the record, Peacemaker goes in S too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that show.
All right. Well, speaking of horror films, 28 years later is going to come out soon, so I can't wait for that one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Do you think that means that they'll finally re-release 28 days later on Blu-ray?
I hope so. It's out of print.
It's out of print, and it's not on any streaming.
Got to.
Gone.
All right. In the same year.
Fellas, do you know what time it is?
Whoa.
Time for the hierarchy of the DC universe to change forever.
Well, Skyler, for those who are listening, Skyler is talking about the same year as the Suicide Squad. The 2021, the 4 hours long.
Oof.
Oh my god. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going.
Oh, I said, oh, dude, it's why 4 hours?
Yeah.
All right. Let me clear this up really quick. Abrar put Zack Snyder's Justice League under the Suicide Squad, even though that came out before the Suicide Squad that year.
Did it?
So I was looking at my list here and being like, oh, the next one's Black Adam.
True, but we're also not just talking about DCEU exclusive since we talked about Teen Titans earlier. So there's another movie between that, even more so. So maybe check the Discord chat next time, Skyler.
All right, you know what?
What?
Everyone's
you.
wrong but me. Anyway, yeah. So the Zack Snyder's Justice League movie is still really bad, but it's like better than the original one. But also at the same time, if you have to add 2 hours to a movie to make it marginally better, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
It doesn't make it good.
I share the same thought. It's better, but who cares, right? Like, it's undeniably better, but I have no interest in ever watching this movie again. I don't much care for it at all.
I don't want to keep saying it's better, but I will. It's better, but it's not a movie. It's a miniseries that you're forced to watch in one sitting at gunpoint. So, they obviously fixed quite a bit. For starters, our main villain doesn't look awful anymore. He looks less awful.
He still doesn't look great, but he doesn't look as bad.
Well, effects-wise, he looks good. Design-wise, I don't care.
I think as a villain, he looks okay, but we're at this problem now where every villain we've had is a big gray monster, just about.
Yeah, he looks like a Decepticon.
But as a design, it's undoubtedly better than it was. The fucking original one was so stupid looking.
Yeah. I do think the majority of the things that they added are improvements, or at least
majority, not everything, bro.
Yeah, or at least like provide more information that makes some of the dumb things like more excusable. But then there's also that one bit where Martian Manhunter like goes and talks to Martha.
It's gotta be the dumbest, because that scene where Martha and Lois are talking on its own, it's a good scene, which then they ruin by needlessly making it a little like, see, look who it was the whole time.
It was Martha Manhunter. Yeah.
Which if you're not in the know of like what's going on,
oh man,
exactly. He turns into Martian Manhunter and then he turns into the General after that. But like, you could think someone could walk away thinking like Martha Kent was Martian Manhunter the whole time,
or an alien, like
which is Martha's an alien.
It's just like, wait, was Martha the General? Who was that guy? I don't remember him. Yeah, it's also very weird. And if you just pull it from like, why did Martian Manhunter have to have that conversation with her? Yeah. What is Martian Manhunter doing in the movie?
Yeah, why is he not helping with any of the fighting?
How many other extremely personal conversations is he having with people in this world? Was he Pa Kent telling Clark to let the kids die?
Oh,
was he that one girl sleeping in Bruce Wayne's bed in Batman v Superman?
Was he the tornado that killed Pa Kent?
Was he the tornado? Was he the dog?
Was he the dog?
Good question.
Was he that guy that got a selfie with Aquaman in the bar? Where is he? What's he doing?
Was he the drum playing octopus? We'll never know.
Was he the general guy from Man of Steel? Who knows?
Oh, the one who like had a crush on Fiora?
Probably not that one.
No, not the lady. What?
No, he died. Not him.
He did die, but they had like not a romance, but like an attractive
Christopher Maloney? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm talking about Christopher Maloney and how
he had sexual tension with Fiora.
He had a weird sexual tension with Fiora.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he exploded her.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they survived. Maybe they're just in the Phantom Zone having a little phantom baby.
A good death is its own reward. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't like this movie.
Well, we forgot about the most important part, the ending.
Which one?
The Joker, confronting with Batman.
Joker, baby.
This movie has more endings than Return of the King.
So embarrassing. It's so bad. Like, there's so many points where you can end this movie. I think for me, when Superman opens his shirt and does the logo reveal, the classic Superman moment, that's where you end it. That's the ending of the movie. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And then we get this fucking he shot in his driveway ass fucking scene where all these characters look completely different. Fucking Batman looks like he's like malnourished now.
Mira looks like she just pooped in somebody's bed.
And she's doing an accent. She's like talking with an accent now, and I don't remember that from the other movies.
An accent that she may have had originally, but then didn't have in Aquaman.
Yeah. Who fucking knows? But it's also dumb. We get Jared Leto Joker being stupid and Batman being like, "Fuck you, Joker! I'll fucking kill you, motherfucker."
Also, this is where Zack Snyder got the inspiration and learned he wanted to be his own director of photography for
make everything ugly.
Fucking zombie in Vegas movie. What's it called? Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead Pixel. Yeah.
And it looks so bad.
You can't figure out the focus and how like the depth of field works.
No, we're just not smart enough to understand it.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, and then the great scene where Bruce gets out of his bed and he walks outside and there's an alien floating there and
he's like, "Can I help you?"
Like, I'm here to tell you that I'll be there next time. And Bruce is like, "Okay." Like,
who are you?
Not care. He's like, "All right, whatever, dude." And like, there's a green glow because it's supposed to be someone else.
It was supposed to be Green Lantern. Yeah, which like I don't really get. I get why they were trying to develop other stuff, so they didn't want to try to use that character in other things. It's typical Warner Brothers. That's the thing. When people are upset by that, it's like, have you guys not been fans of like Warner Brothers DC the longest time? Like, let me introduce you to like the CW and how much trouble they've gone through for years trying to get characters and then having characters taken away and like all of that stuff. So yeah, it'd be like, why couldn't they use Green Lantern? Because it's Warner Brothers and they're weird. All right, like that's the least of this movie's problems.
Ugh. Well, are we feeling a D or an F? Maybe a Z?
Hold on. How many C's do we have?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
What?
4.
You have 4.
Do we think we can fill the rest of this list with C's, or should we throw Snyder Cut a bone and give it a C? We got to reach 7.
Where do we put regular Justice League? Was that an F?
Yeah.
That was...
Because my gut response is to make it like 1 point above normal Justice League. And I don't mean like from F to D, but like from F to F+.
See, I don't even think this belongs in F. I think there's enough here that if you watch in increments, first of all, this movie can last you like a full year. You're like, watch 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
It's really the lemnis bread of movies.
Dude, it took me 2 days to finish this.
It took me and Skyler 2 days too.
Damn.
Ah, you guys are lucky. I watched it all in one sitting. So
are you okay?
I mean, clearly not. I have not watched it since. So
okay.
I mean, I wish I could have had some support. I was watching it with Ray, and she was kind of pissed the whole time, which is usually the case when we watch something that she doesn't like. So
I understand.
I feel like somewhere in D would be appropriate, but whether or not we can unite the 7, it depends on how nice you guys are going to be to, say, Black Adam.
I won't be. That's the thing.
What are the 4 that are in there now?
So we got Man of Steel, we got Wonder Woman, we got Lego Batman, and Aquaman.
Lego Batman. Okay. So this.
I do like all those movies, even the one I haven't seen, more than Snyder Cut. So at most it's a C+, but it probably makes more sense to put in D.
No, I think,
or C- rather. You know what I mean?
I think we can squeak out 7 if we put this in C. But how? I'm fine with it. But how?
I think I'm really feeling this more as a D. Tummy. It wouldn't sit right with me. I won't fight you on it, but it's a D for me.
It deserves a D. It deserves a D.
Okay, we'll put it in D.
All right. The Zack Snyder's...
Well, that just means we'll have to put the Batman in C to even it out.
Whoa, hey, whoa. Copernicus.
4 hours long, Zack Snyder's not Dawn of the Dead, not 300, but Justice League is a D.
I also don't like 300 for the record.
No,
It's
that's a
not very
different
good.
podcast. That's a different podcast.
No,
All right.
it's not.
All right. The next one here is 2002. A good year for movies. The
2002.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Spider-Man.
I was gonna say 2002 was a
Spider-Man.
good year for movies.
The 2022. So we're kind of getting off that, COVID hump. I think we are talking about the Batman.
Well,
I mean-
S tier.
Yeah, like what are we
Obvious
talking?
S tier.
Actually,
Actually, S plus, because even though Suicide Squad is in S tier, this is above that.
Yes, correct.
So this is the one. This is the best one. Here.
yeah,
At least the
Yeah.
ones we're talking about today.
it may be my favorite comic book movie. Period. I'd have to really look at a full list, but I'm pretty confident in that statement. Like I don't think I'll feel embarrassed later from that.
It's a really good Batman movie, and it's just a good movie in general. I feel like it's the Batman movie a lot of us have been wanting for years now. Like it really does a nice combination of all these different types of Batman, whether it's new or old, or it is really, really well done. I mean, I really struggle to say anything bad about it because I really don't feel like it. Like this is entertainment, and this is our opinions. And like, why do I want to talk shit on one of my favorite Batman movies? Like, I don't. So that's why we're praising it as much as we.
I also
can
generally like. I only have one thing about it that I don't care for, and it's not even really part of the movie, so I don't care. I don't care.
What is it?
It's the
Monica
Joker.
Rial.
It's the Joker.
Joker.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like the Joker, but I think that's stupid. But every other part of the movie is so good that I just forget.
Wait,
that
what
that
Joker?
happened.
Oh,
What do you
talking
mean?
about
what Joker? What are you talking about?
Are you doing a bit?
Are we not talking about the Batman?
Yeah, we're talking about the Batman with Robert Pattinson. What Joker?
Where he's where he goes to the jail?
He's not.
Oh,
He's
he's talking to Riddler.
What?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's not the Joker.
Skyler is
I understand.
he has a
I
feud with
understand.
Barry Keoghan right now. After seeing Eternals, he's currently on a blood feud with him.
No.
He's gonna have a match coming up.
I understand what we're
soon.
doing.
That
It's
wasn't
fine.
the Joker. That was Melvin.
That was-
Oh no!
Okay, you're right. You got me.
How do
It's the only
I-
part of the movie that I'm not like
Going from the
100%
call.
sold on, and I'm just hoping he doesn't show up in the sequel. I'll be fine with it. Every other part of the movie I love so much, like even the music, and it's such a good example of like this is very clearly a very different take on this universe, but they do such a good job, and like all of their decisions come together in an interesting way that it doesn't annoy me in any way. You know what I mean? Like I understand why they made the choices that they made, why they, turned Riddler into the Zodiac Killer instead of being, a goofball. Like it all works and
He was
feels
still a little
consistent.
goofy,
A little bit.
He's a
What do you
Redditor.
think? No,
He
this
had
is
some-
not how it was supposed to be.
it's
Last
I-
riddle.
That's why I appreciate it, is that it does feel like an amalgamation of all things that make Batman great, and it's got all these little unique little details and changes that I'm interested to see where those ramifications will go. Where it's like this Batman, I don't think traveled the world and like learned all these things to become the world's greatest detective. I think he learned it all himself and from Alfred at home. This is a world where we don't have a confirmed Joe Chill. They never found the killer of the Waynes, and like we have all these like little changes that kind of ripple throughout this Batman universe that make it its own, and I like that. I like that it's its own thing while still feeling like Batman. We have this Batman that narrates and he's dramatic and he's in the costume most of the time, and it's like, wow, like we have a Batman that genuinely feels like Batman. I feel like sometimes Batman doesn't feel like he can yell, because you kind of lose a bit of the mystique of him being all low and gruff, and you get yelling, you get like Bale's Batman, which people don't like that voice. But with here, I feel like he's one of the most emoting Batmans that we have, while still being the kind of like dark, mysterious character. There's that good scene where Gil Colson, has got the bomb on his neck and he's answering all the riddles. It's like, how much? And he like yells at him. And it's fun. Like he has a lot of him being really expressive, and we don't get that a lot from Batman in a way that still makes him feel like the character.
I mean, great
Absolutely.
cast. Great cast, man. Robert Pattinson, of course, Batman. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, amazing. Paul Dano as the Riddler. Jeffrey Wright as Jordan.
Gordon.
James Gordon.
Jim Gordon, yeah.
Dude, great cast. I think they did a stellar job here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm a little surprised they haven't done anything with Catwoman yet. Like, obviously, we have the Penguin show, which I'm very much looking forward to. But I feel like greenlighting a Catwoman anything would have made sense at the time.
Mhm.
And if they don't have a story, they don't have a story. That's fine.
They may not be able to pin down Zoe Kravitz. I mean, obviously, she probably signed a contract to return for stuff if they need her, but she just directed her first movie.
She did.
yeah.
That's true.
She might be kind of busy.
She could direct in the costume if they want her to do that. That's fine. I liked this version of Selena Kyle quite a bit. And I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. And they kind of set her up as like ready to have her own solo adventure. So
Yeah,
it's
she
funny
like
of,
left for Bloodhaven or whatever.
Yeah. So like there's stories you can adapt where you can kind of have her do her own thing. So I'd be interested to see that. But yeah, everyone's so great in this. We mentioned the
What if
Penguin show happening with Colin Farrell. Like I love what they do with these characters.
Yeah, what if they set up, multiple characters that could possibly get solo runs in like television shows,
So
and Colin Farrell just asked for less money, so they're like, all right, we'll start with that, and then we'll see.
Limited series on everything.
But would his lower pay just go towards paying for the makeup?
Maybe
That's all budget.
It's really good, by the way.
That was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have even recognized him.
Yeah,
That'd be great if they never advertised he was in the movie.
Yeah.
They just showed him, and everyone's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then you have to wait for the
Oswald
credits.
Cobblepot as himself.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
So I guess we said an S plus for this one, right?
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie is an S plus. Even the sound design, like the sound of the Batmobile revving up, quivered my butt cheeks. Like I love that. It was so good. So good.
Terrifying.
This movie was filmed during COVID, and they did a great job. Because there's a lot of COVID movies out there, and they're trash.
Yeah.
Like Jeepers Creepers Firstborn, terrible.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Did anyone else see that?
No. I think for the most part, people stop watching those because the guy's a sex pest.
Like the character or the actor?
The director.
Oh, unfortunate.
He went to jail and then got out and then made that Jeepers Creepers movie.
Did he not know that, Abrar?
No! Oh my god.
Of all the movies you can mention.
I'm gonna remove that out of my letterbox.
Wow.
Thank you for telling him, Skyler.
That's what I'm here for.
I thought that was common knowledge, so I wouldn't have thought to bring it up, but I'm glad that you did.
All right. So the Batman was an S plus, and now Skyler, you can say your.
No, I already did
it. No, you can just say it. You can just say
it's Black Adam. Do it.
It's a 2022's.
Black Adam. All right, I take it back. I will say something. I will say this. It is very appropriate that I said the hierarchy is about to change, and then it wasn't it. It was something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It was something.
And the hierarchy did not change because that's exactly what this movie did.
Yeah, this movie was bad.
Do you
think?
I hate it.
Do you think he was pissing in bottles during the filming of this movie?
100%.
He was drinking them, dude. He was doing everything he could to waste time and then make up for time. I mean, people seem to get this movie a pass. I think people have fun with this one. They like the after credit scene or whatever. I think this is generally one of the worst superhero films just because of how like bland and generic and just nothing of a movie it is. Like,
yeah.
All these years to build up Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, all these casting rumors and all this talk and blah, 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 only for him to be the most boring, generic character where it's like, I guess they're trying to do like a Terminator 2 thing, with this like soulless machine and a little kid character, but none of it really works. Like you could say like, oh, the JSA's in it. Yeah, I like Dr. Fate enough, but he's not enough to save this movie.
Yeah,
It's just insulting in every possible way to me. And it made me, a person that already didn't like The Rock, dislike him even more.
Yeah, this movie suffers from The Rock. That is truly a massive problem here. He doesn't commit to being a bad guy or a good guy. And I'm not just saying that in the sense of like, oh, he's supposed to be an anti-hero. It's like, no. He's not that either. He's wants to be both at the same time.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's kind of baffling because he's like, I'm the badass motherfucker and I'll fight Superman and I'll whatever. I'll beat the hierarchy's gonna change. Watch out for me. But I'm still the guy this movie's about, so I'm the good guy and I'm the hero and I'm all of it. It's just like it doesn't. What you're doing doesn't work, sir. It's like you said, the JSA is a high point for this movie. But
guess.
it's not really. I mean, the movie's not about them, so
yeah. Because I like Dr. Fate, I like Hawkman well enough. The other two are completely forgettable.
That's fair.
But they're fine.
They're fine in the movie, but yeah, I'm trying to remember what the girl's name was, and I can't.
Cyclone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say Hurricane. I knew it was something like
Cyclone
that.
and Adam Smasher, who
Henry Winkler.
Got cameo.
We get to reveal that Henry Winkler, literally a cameo, shows up in the movie, which is, I guess that's fun to think about. Is like, if you really want to dig into like a timeline universe, right? If you want to consider him as like being part of that universe, right? Like you can think of like timeline wise, Wonder Woman takes place, and then it's like somewhere in there, the Fonz is wearing a superhero outfit and he can, I guess, change size.
Has anyone made art of that yet?
No, but I wish they would.
It doesn't have enough fans.
Well, so the problem with this universe is it's so disconjointed, discombobulated that like nobody's thinking that. Nobody's thinking that timeline. Like that thing where I mean Marvel kind of suffers from that problem too now because there's so much shit that they try to throw at you. But like back in 2015 where you're like, okay, Hank Pym was around in like the the 60s, 70s, whatever, 80s. That's cool. Like you could put a timeline to it, but no one's thinking that for this universe. It doesn't flow that way.
Well, because they're trying to change the universe, right? Like Dwayne is trying to get his fucking fingers in there and change the universe to his own whim. I mean, we've got a Shazam villain that can't even fight Shazam
because he refused to.
Because the guy doesn't want to do it. He's like, no, I'd rather fight Superman. It's like, well, there's a guy that does the same powers that you could go fight. That would be more appropriate. And it's like, nah, I want to fight. It's like, what does he have to do with Superman? That's so boring of a fight.
Nothing.
There's no personal conflict between those two. There's not even interesting power sets. They have the same powers. There's nothing you can do.
I think it's going to sound like a silly answer. I think Dwayne legitimately came in looking at it through a wrestling perspective.
Yeah,
like he's like, who's the top dog here? Who's the dream match? The Rock versus who? Superman. Like he's not even thinking Black Adam versus who.
Yeah,
it's me. Because in every movie he plays himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, as a Rock fan, I totally get it.
Shut the fuck up.
No. No, I get it. The movie was not good, but if you take away the story, if there was a story, if you watch just for the action, a popcorn movie, I think it'd be okay. But
Abrar, what's the villain's name?
Don't
look it up.
Wait, hold on.
I don't remember.
I can
I'll tell you right
here.
now. I don't remember. I remember it was a demon guy.
Is it
Satan?
Sabak?
Satan, I think.
Satan, I think. Well, one of you might be right.
Was it Sabak? I think it's something like that. I don't know the character from the comics.
Oh wow, Daniel got it right. It
Hell
is
yeah,
Sabak.
brother.
But I'm gonna give it to Abrar because Satan was funnier.
Yeah, he's also right. is the thing. He turned into the actual devil.
He did. He did. Like, how did you think that you're going to hinge a whole universe of movies on a movie where you literally fight the devil?
Satan, yeah.
Like, that's so silly. Like,
Well-
and I know it's a superhero film, but like when you take it so seriously, but then you
Yeah.
have him fight the devil, it's like, well, no,
Especially
you have
when,
to be funny.
There's
So,
already a Satan-coded character that I would much rather have seen in these movies in general, and his name's Trigon. And I don't need a second Satan.
So Rock tried to Shanghai the whole DCEU, like he tried to have $7 take it over, right? And then
Which we know for sure. Like this is now
that's
information that's public.
confirmed, hard confirmed, and
Mm.
110% his plan, what for the universe going forward,
Was that he would take it over like the XFL?
was Black Adam versus Superman, a JSA led by Black Adam, Black Adam versus something else. Like it was all going to be him.
Dark Side and everyone.
Black Adam kills the DC universe.
Yeah, basically.
It's what he wanted.
Yeah. There's really only one thing about this movie that gave me a general, like a genuine source of joy, and it's I like the uncle character. Like he's dumb, but the bit where he like,
oh that guy,
he like finds out that he's gonna die by being electrocuted or something, and then he's fighting the stupid zombies that show up for no reason.
No.
And he's like, it's cool, guys, I don't die here. Like that's a good bit. I liked that.
I'm trying to think of other positives.
Keep
I
thinking.
didn't like the kid. Sorry,
No,
kid.
he was annoying. Also, another weird thing of like, why are we making merch for these war criminals?
Abrar, when you were watching it and this like little kid's hanging out with like The Rock the whole time, were you thinking like, man, if I was his age, I wish that was me?
No,
Yeah.
you wish that was him now.
No. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think the perfect point to what I was saying earlier about The Rock refuses to be a good guy or a bad guy in this movie is at the end when he kills the bad guy and he's like, there's the throne and I've got to sit in the throne because that's the iconic shot, the shot he's been teasing for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's the shot of me sitting in the throne. Oh, but I'm a good guy. I'll break the throne.
It's so stupid.
I'll blame.
And also the whole thing of like, where were you, Justice League, the whole time? We needed a hero and you weren't there. Now we've got this guy and he kills everybody. It's like, is that better? Is this good? Is this a win for y'all? Zombies showed up.
I'll blame
Satan's
the fans.
over there.
I'll blame the fans for this one. They wanted The Rock since 2011. There's an article somewhere that says, "Oh, The Rock should be Black Adam." Of course, there's a lot of.
You're a classic bullshit WWE heel blaming the fans.
Blaming the fans.
We're not hearing it,
baby.
Well, they've been asking for it, and then they got it.
You know what? I don't think they were. I think he was. I think Rock was asking for
wrote
it.
that article. Who's it written by?
And said, "I'm a big movie star with big arms. Make me a thing." And they're like, "All right, well, because we're WB, we're bad at business. You want to play this guy? Or you want to play this guy?" And he said, "I'll think about it."
I'll think about it for 10 years.
And that's what happened.
He does,
And they were
unfortunately,
stuck with him.
because a lot of fan casting is literally just who looks the most like this character, and he does look like him. So that's probably all it is.
I once saw someone make up an image of The Rock as Luke Cage.
Oh
Yeah, that used to be things.
Yeah.
And Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
That was like a rumored thing there for a while that a Johnny Bravo movie was going to be in the works.
Can you even make a Johnny
with
Bravo movie in
Dwayne?
2024?
Yeah.
Not now, like 20 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, the Johnny Bravo and Pepe Le Pew.
And Pepe the Frog.
All right. What are we giving you here for Black Adam?
F or D.
Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, I'll put D. D minus.
Sure.
Yeah, D, whatever. Who cares?
No, D minus.
D minus. Like Batman vs Superman.
All right, D plus, wise guy. What do you think about that?
What do you think about that?
All right,
D minus minus.
No, just D.
Just D. Okay, put D there.
Put D
All right.
and then close your eyes, hold down Shift, and hit a random number on your keyboard, and whatever symbol it puts there, that's what it is.
He's not gonna hit a number. He's gonna hit
D
like the letter
percentage.
U or something. It's gonna be uppercase U.
4.
All
4
right.
minuses. All right. Black Adam is
Wow.
a D minus 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 minus.
All
right.
right.
I think okay.
In the same year,
You said it 5 times, but that's fine.
Wait,
did I?
that means
Yeah.
it's less than Batman v Superman.
It is.
Yes.
I don't care at this point. Quick, Abrar, talk about the movie only you saw.
Oh, well, let's talk about it. We're
Oh,
talking
more
about
Dwayne.
All right. The same year, 2022, not 2002, the DC League of Super Pets. So you guys didn't see this?
No, but I do
No.
want you to keep in mind that we do need 3 more C's.
This is here's the thing. So this movie is only for kids, not for adults or teenagers, just for kids.
C for child, you say?
It's more of a D, to be honest, because it was not for me. It was not for me.
D with 5 minuses. Put it.
Okay.
I don't even know what this movie really is, to be honest. I don't
It's-
super care.
It's a cartoon. It's like if it was like an episode on Cartoon Network, it would be that.
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
No follow-up questions, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Well, Keanu Reeves is in it. I don't know if you guys, Skyler, if you cared.
If I care about Keanu, I do on
Yeah.
a personal level, but it doesn't mean I watched it.
All right. So now the next year, oh man, this is a doozy again. The 2000, we got last year's 2023's Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
Let me tell you something, brother. I hate this movie. I
Wow.
hate it so much.
Hate.
It's pretty disappointing just because the first one is so enjoyable and this
Mhm.
one is pretty nothing. I don't think I hate it, but I don't have any strength to defend it at this point. It's just such a nothing bland film.
It's a whatever.
Daniel, it's interesting to hear that you hate it because we saw this together. And,
Yeah. We saw all
wa-
these together. Well,
I-
the last couple at least.
I feel now as I did then when we watched it, nothing. I feel nothing. For
Yeah,
this absolute void of any emotion towards this movie at all.
it's definitely sour skittled on me.
Oh.
Because it's just like the villains are awful. You know, there's so many other villains that are like actual ones from the comics that we could have gone to first, and instead we went and created these new ones, and then didn't do anything interesting with them. I just keep thinking about Gal Gadot showing up at the last second to bring it back to life, and it's the stupidest thing. My God, it's so dumb. I hate it. They really mess up for me a lot of the like kids dynamics, and then also don't really have the kids in the movie almost at all. Like they completely throw the kids aside and make it just about like the adult versions, especially in the God, what did we find his name was in the first one? Austin something, the main guy.
Asher
Asher
Angel.
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 Yeah.
He's like not in this movie, which is a shame because he's probably genuinely a better actor than Zachary Levi.
To the movie's detriment, 100%.
Yeah, so much.
But the thing is,
bad.
no, the thing is, when young Billy is, performing, is totally different personality-wise when it comes to Shazam.
That's the biggest takeaway is the disconnect between young Billy and Shazam. It's Zachary Levi just is doing whatever. Like they're not even attempting to be the same anymore. Like that disconnect wasn't that vast in the first one.
Yeah.
Like a
And
lot
in the
of
first one, they
times-
didn't even like share scenes together. Like there was no like, all right, we're gonna be together and figure this out. Like they just sort of winged it and it worked. So it's weird that this one is somehow worse.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ugh.
I do think it's really funny that all the Shazam costumes got redesigned to have smaller lightning bolts because somebody else wanted a bigger lightning bolt.
I wonder who that is.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
I don't even think that's a theory. I think you put them right next to each other and you're like, okay, I see what happened here. The best part of this movie, hands down, is the after credits joke with a little Mr. Mind.
I think that's a good gag at after credits stuff. Like, I know people can be annoyed at that as like, oh, well, you just legitimately didn't pay it off, but like, I think it's a good meta joke of him. Like, because Savannah's got like a beard and everything. Like, it's very comical.
And he's like, I just need to go do one more thing, and he starts inching away. See, that's one of the that joke. I don't think would have happened if the universe didn't die. Like, because we were on like the last of the movies here, we just need to like pump them out and see if we get money. Like, otherwise it would have been some tease for some nonsense we don't care about.
Right. It's a funny gag.
I did like Helen Keller.
Helen
Mirren.
But was she blind?
Yeah.
She had to have been blind, deaf, and dumb to sign up for this movie, let me tell you.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hey, man, she was in Fast and Furious. Come on.
Yeah, they made a joke about that.
Helen Mirren.
So anyway.
Let's give this a C, just for the funsies.
We have to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that's about right anyway, because it's not the worst. It just annoys me.
We've got 4 movies in 2023, and we know exactly the ones that are getting C's. So let's just give it a C, and we can move on.
I agree.
All right. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a C, and in the same year, 2023, we got the controversial, the big one here. It's The Flash.
The Flash. I also didn't care for this one.
Similarly
to how I didn't care for Shazam, it annoyed me in a lot of different ways. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but I was like, boy, I wish that hadn't happened.
I don't hate this movie. I think it's got things that work about it, which is funny because people think this is like the worst film ever made. And I think when you see The Flash saving a bunch of CG babies, and there's like a vial of acid and like knives coming out of baby, I think I was like, all right, I know what I'm in for, and that set the tone for the rest of the movie. So, I think I was able to roll with the punches a bit better than in our average movie.
That sounds like Stockholm syndrome.
It does kind of feel like we've just had so many bad ones of these.
It's film.
Like, well, this one didn't stab me, so.
He put a baby in a microwave and people were like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. And it's like, it's not real. It's fake. It's not like he pressed the button. It was very
clear that it wasn't real because it looked like a fucking Cabbage Patch Kid.
If the Flash had put a baby in a microwave and pressed the button and had it go and turn on, that would be really funny.
And Ezra Miller would have.
Sure. Like, of course, that would be true to the Ezra Miller character. Absolutely. They would do that. But, you know, it was just a means of transportation. I think there's some good stuff in this movie. I like, obviously, the scene at the end with his mom. I think that's like one of the best scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah.
There's tons of like, you can tell they had ideas for what they wanted to do. And when you hear about all those directors and actors and people that walked away from this movie being like, it's great, you can tell that's what they were focusing on, was like the comedy and the family dynamics and this idea of this person goes back in time and realizes it's a mistake. Not the CGI cameos. Because like that's such a part of it that I don't even think about that. People talk about that part so much, and it is awful and it is bad, and I can't defend it because it's gross.
Because it is bad.
But like I don't, when I think about that movie, I don't think about that part. I think about, you know what I think about? I think about the part where they're in the fucking Russian bunker or whatever, and they got Supergirl, and they get on that thing, and Batman's putting the explosives up, and he pulls out his little Batman tape measure, and he looks at that with his Batman head. He goes, "How much do you weigh?" Which is a good callback. It's a reference without it being a blunt on the head reference.
That is probably the best callback, actually. Instead of like this bag has teeth in it or whatever.
Or the nuts.
The Danhausen showed up?
He should have.
Yeah, the nuts line is really bad, but like the little "how much do you weigh" I thought was like genuinely a funny bit. And as someone who isn't the biggest fan of Keaton Batman, I liked him in this. I know people were upset that they like kill him, but I don't really have a strong opinion about it. Heroes die, like that's what they do.
They do also kill him and pretty much everyone else like 100 times too. So like you kind of get over it.
Yeah, whatever.
You kind of get over it by the end of it.
It's not a very good movie.
No, it's definitely not. But I agree with you that it's not like it's definitely not the worst of these. Maybe there's a lot of it that annoys the hell out of me, and I think when I watched it originally, the Ezra Miller of it all also dragged it down for me.
That's fair.
Because just what a dickhead. I also hate the suit, and obviously, like all the effects are bad, but it kind of feels like they just didn't put the money into it because it was like we're done here anyway. You know what I mean? I'm struggling to think of a part that I genuinely enjoyed. The only one that's coming to mind is the joke about God. What movie was it? Where he's
Back
like,
to the Future.
Yeah. He's like, no,
Stokes.
it wasn't him who was in that movie. It was this other guy. And I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. We're in the universe.
Because the guy
Abrar.
had the tattoo on his thigh.
You had thoughts of Ben Affleck Batman, his final hurrah in this movie?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. Like as his because I wanted more of this Batman or Bruce Wayne, but this is the end for him.
He's doing Batman stuff. It's actually kind of funny because he's like in daylight, moving around like a video game character and looking wild. And obviously Ben Affleck had comments about how like with this movie he finally figured it out. Like he was like, oh, I get how I need to play this character now. And then he got fired. I do think that the suit is kind of ugly, but I actually like him in this. I think he's a good Batman in this one.
He figured out to stop doing it.
Well, we also got a George Clooney at the end, which is a nice tease.
Cheered so loud because at this point it's like, who cares? It's the end of the movie. Why not? So having that be like the big aha is that Ezra Miller's stuck in the Batman and Robin universe now, and will be trapped there forever, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, good. Fuck him.
Yeah, just nice, handsome George Clooney comes out, and that was good. I'm glad for him.
I don't want to say, but you have a cutout of George Clooney.
You can say it. I absolutely do. I was gifted a cardboard cutout of George Clooney from my brother on Christmas, and I do little holiday dress ups for him. So like on Christmas and Valentine's Day and all these things. So yeah, I would say if you want to check that out at the end of the show, I'll plug my Twitter. And if you want to see pictures of George Clooney in little outfits, like a big doll, then please check it out.
Is Barry's mom Italian in this? What is she?
I thought she was Hispanic.
Is. No, I think she's supposed to be Italian because the whole thing is like she's making pasta. And I know that might be like
sure, if you're Italian, you gotta make pasta. It's
don't you?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Well, okay, so like maybe this is not something to get hung up on here. But
the actress is Spanish, by the way.
Why the fuck are they using canned tomatoes?
So that he can put it back on the wrong shelf and not learn a lesson at the end of the movie.
I feel like they shouldn't do that. Use fresh tomatoes, please.
We all liked Supergirl in this one, right?
Yeah.
Serviceable. She's fine. She doesn't get a whole lot to do.
True.
I mean, I feel like we could have done more and not amount to her whole thing being pointless because she lost and just died.
Yeah.
Well, this whole universe is pointless. Was the gag essentially? It was like him trying to save his mom. It creates this horrible sequence where heroes die.
I understand that, but the entire buildup of like we've got to get Supergirl, she'll be the game changer, and then it just seems like a waste of time.
And I guess the part of the issue is that there was multiple endings to this film. One of which we had gotten like a behind the scenes shot of Ben Affleck in a different Batman suit. Because the OG original ending is that Barry Allen resets the timeline, thus bringing in Michael Keaton as Batman and the Sasha Cale as Supergirl. And it's like, well, this is the universe now. And then we would have gotten the Batgirl movie, and that's where Michael Keaton would have been, and so on and so forth. He would have shown up in Aquaman, apparently. And then with all this like juggling around and reshuffling and all this, that things kept changing and altering. And from what I understand, the one that was shown at CinemaCon the year before it came out, that had a different ending that didn't have the George Clooney ending. So I honestly don't know what those people saw. but this all would have set up a Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover where we would have had Ben Affleck being like, Barry, you gotta find us, as like a message through time and space. So like they were going to do something, but obviously all that now is just garbage. So end it on a joke, wrap it up, everybody goes home. So I guess that's the idea behind it.
The mom is the lady from Y Tu Mama Tambien.
The Alfonso Cuarón movie?
Okay.
From like a while ago, yeah. The one where she sleeps with Diego Luna a bunch.
You're right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
Before we move on,
and Pan's Labyrinth.
and
That's a good
put
movie.
this in a thing.
Oh.
Pan's Labyrinth is a good movie. I just want to say I saw this movie in actually, Daniel, we saw this movie in theaters, and as we were leaving the theater, this big guy, I won't call him fat, that's not fair. This big guy stood up, and he was like all excited, and he walked up to one of the ushers, and he was like, "You guys know why George Clooney was in this movie, don't you?"
Oh.
And the guy was like, "Yeah, he was Batman."
Because he was Batman.
The guy was having a swell night on the town. So that guy probably gives it around a B or an A, maybe. Yeah. I don't.
I also don't.
I want to give this a D plus.
I've only seen it the one time. I've never watched it after the theater.
Same.
So, which a lot of these movies I've either watched them 50 times or I've watched them once and never again. So yeah, I would say no higher than D for something like this.
I'm tempted to put it in C. I feel like my heart is a D.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Okay.
We got two more movies that are better than this. So
obviously, F for Flash. Come on now.
F for Fleet.
Oh,
I mean that is funny.
that is quite funny.
You got me there.
What you did there, yes, of course.
All right. So, the D is fine then, right?
Sure.
No, D. Yes.
Okay, D. All right, 2023, The Flash is a D, and then the next the next two was the same year. It just came out last year. The 2023's Blue Beetle.
This was a movie.
This one's cute. Yeah.
I enjoyed
This
Blue
was
Beetle.
this was originally supposed to be on Max, but they were like, you know what? Let's put it in theaters. And I think this one was during the writer's strike or actor strike, so they didn't promote it. I think, or is it the other movie? Not sure, but
No, it's this one.
Yeah,
this one okay?
Yeah, that's true. The actors didn't get to attend anything, which is a shame because obviously it could have been really cool for a lot of those people to be like, wow, big movie premiere for a superhero that's not like the norm. And yeah, sadly that wasn't allowed. But yeah, this is a fine movie. It's a good superhero origin flick. The problem is that, as we've talked about here, we've seen quite a few of those. But I think if you're a kid and you're being introduced to superhero stuff, I think this is a perfectly good introduction. It's got all the marks. It's entertaining enough. It's pretty harmless. Fine.
Diverse.
Yeah, which is cool. I think that it's a cool, different sort of superhero film that I think, I'm not saying that you have to be any kind of like Latin descent or anything like that to enjoy it. But if you're a kid who wants to see something that isn't just white superheroes, you have the option. And it's entry level. You don't have to, it's not dark, it's not scary. It's just a normal film.
I agree. This is one of those movies where I don't know. I definitely enjoyed it. It's fun. I like a lot of the family, especially. The villain was awful. Both of the villains were awful, but whatever. It's exactly like Anthony said. It's just like it's really generic. There's not a lot that it does that makes it really stand out, other than the representation of it, which is great. Like I really appreciate that. It's nice to see, different cultures be represented in this type of movie. I just wish that they had done something more interesting with it also. That's really all I have to say about it.
I like the main kid and I like the suit.
He's from Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that.
I saw the first season.
I'm not expecting him to come back anytime soon, but like if he does, I won't be upset. Like if he gets tossed into a Teen Titans movie at some point, that's cool. Sure. Why not?
Ooh, Robin?
No, I mean as Blue
No, as
Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Oh,
Because he is one of the ones where they're like still playing with the idea of keeping him as his same character, like in the new universe,
yeah.
like how they're doing it with, Peacemaker and Viola Davis, where like
All
they're the
Charlton
same
Comics
character, but
characters.
also like the old stuff isn't canon technically, so it doesn't, but it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. He was one of the names that they're still kind of floating out there as being like, if we do a Blue Beetle, maybe we'll just keep him because like he was good.
Yeah, and nothing in his film in particular contradicts anything. Like it's totally standalone. Like they mention other DC stuff, but it's not like
Yeah,
the Shazam movie where we do see the Batarang and all that
Yeah,
stuff. This is as
very-
standalone as you can get.
By design, very on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we don't step on anything, so we can maybe survive this.
Yeah, good looking suit. I really like the
Yeah.
Blue Beetle suit, so that's cool.
I like that it was a practical suit that he was actually wearing a lot of the time.
Yeah, gonna advocate that a lot.
I mean, you
Please
get
more of
a grandma holding a machine gun and George Lopez.
Was that your favorite part?
I think so, yeah. I think that's my
Yeah.
favorite part.
Was
Not
it
when the big bug ship farted.
when the big bug ship farted? It's like
Oh,
stomping
yeah.
on people and they're getting speared onto its feet, and then it does a big joke fart.
Big fart.
I forgot that happened. Yeah,
Uh.
yeah. There was like one George Lopez joke that I did think was like legitimately funny. It's like they're in like the Beetle cave, and he's like, "All right, just sit down," and like he looks around and realizes that there's like no other chairs, and the way he's like, "Or not, whatever." Like it's very normal. It's like a very nothing joke, and because of that, it made me laugh.
I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I thought I laughed at him the whole movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed him in this.
I mean, as a kid that grew up watching his show, like I don't know, he's just got something into my brain. Even if he's an asshole. Sorry.
Yeah, even if he wouldn't give me a kidney.
Yeah, come on, George.
Oh,
Give me-
yeah. Man, a lot of actors are bad, but
Yeah, they're all terrible people.
Honestly,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of the other people we've talked about, like Kevin Spacey, not giving somebody a kidney is not that bad.
I don't know. Maybe George Lopez will be like, give Kevin Spacey another chance.
Well,
Because that's the thing that's happening now.
please
That
don't.
is
say-
true.
I got this.
Oh. Don't say it, George. Don't say that about Kevin Spacey.
Oh no.
Unless you're
So-
doing a citizen's arrest.
If George Lopez takes him down, hero. That makes up for the kidney.
There you go. I watched a video that was like detailing the entire sort of like Conan late night situation from whenever like the Jay Leno stuff and then him moving over to TBS. And like the George Lopez stuff is so funny because George Lopez had his show on TBS and then they bring Conan over and now Conan has his show as well. And like at first George Lopez is so open about being like really excited about working together and like how he thinks it's a great idea and it's totally fine. And then the second his show gets canceled and they keep Conan, he's like immediately throws Conan like under the bus and starts shit talking him. It's just like, man, whatever the current like flow is, he'll go with it. It doesn't matter what it is or where his allegiances lie. Like whatever he can just say, he'll say it.
Well,
That's cool. That's a
this-
guy I can look up to.
This movie is all about family, and most movies about family are pretty good. So I'm just gonna give this a C plus.
Yeah, well, it's got to go and see.
See, plus it is.
Right. Now for our last movie.
For the record, I think it actually deserves a C.
It does.
Yeah.
Like it would have wound up in C no matter what.
Good
Shout out
movie.
to Jaime. R.I.P.
Oh yeah, rest in piss, bozo.
Wait, which one?
worry
Reyes,
about it, move on.
obviously.
Okay. All right. The last movie before the James Gunn era, we got the one that finishes the DCU and all that is the 2023 Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I still haven't seen this, so I'll tap out.
I have seen this.
Same here.
It is it's on the exact same level as the first one. It's exactly the same in my book.
It's a little lower for me. I don't think it's as good, but it's just a movie.
Oh, well, maybe the first one is lower for me than it is for you, so it all works out.
Yes. That is correct.
The way they ended this movie is where Patrick Wilson eats a burger and there's a cockroach inside, and that's it. The end.
Yeah.
I thought they did a bit where he like spoofed the I Am Iron Man bit.
That's how the movie ends, but there's an after credits.
Yeah,
scene.
there's
Gotcha.
whatever. Yeah.
Both are sound stupid to me. I didn't see either of them.
Yeah, it's just it's dumb, but Momoa's likable, and he teams up with Patrick Wilson, who is very likable, and
I do like me a Patrick Wilson.
Oh God. Well, let me tell you my review on Letterboxd. What the hell I put for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
all right.
Why we've been at the Letterboxd on like the literal last second?
I have to because there's not much I can say. So I gave it 3 stars out of 5.
Which means you
So I
hated
said,
it.
no. So I said it was a mixture between Thor 2 and Thor 3 and Lord of the Rings. I know it was filmed during COVID and they did a lot of reshoots, but we got a white baby in the beginning and then we got a Polynesian baby in the middle and then we got a white baby at the end. I LOL'd. We finished the DCU, like I said, with Patrick Wilson eating a cockroach burger, and I say it's whatevs.
I wanted to check, and I also gave it 3 stars and said, "Thank God for Patrick Wilson." So that was my takeaway.
Patrick Wilson.
I gave it 3 stars, and I don't leave reviews. So,
Why not? Why you don't do it?
but I don't, because it's not. My star ratings are for me and no one else. What, trying to be entertaining? I don't fucking care.
Oh, well, 3 stars sounds like a C. Then is that correct?
Well,
Yep,
we gave the first Aquaman a C. I give this one a C too.
Unite the 7! We did it!
We did it.
We did it!
7
So the
C's,
one-
baby.
The ones that are C's are Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Blue Beetle, Shazam: The Fury of the Gods, Aquaman, Lego Batman, Wonder Woman, and Man of Steel C minus.
That all seems about right.
Of course
So
it does. We just did the list.
Might be might be 1 or 2 in there that are like borderline, but that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me run down what we reviewed here. Of course, Man of Steel C, BVS Dawn of Justice is a D minus minus minus. Suicide Squad is an F to 2016. Wonder Woman is a C. Justice League 2017 an F. Lego Batman is C. Aquaman is C. Teen Titans Go to the movies is a B. Shazam is a B plus. Joker is a B. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One's Harley Quinn is a D plus. Wonder Woman 2020 1984 is 1984 is the F plus. The Suicide Squad James Gunn an S. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a D. The Batman is an S plus. Black Adam is a D minus 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 minus. DC League of Super Pets is a D minus 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 minus. Shazam Fear of the Gods C. Flash is a D. Blue Beetle is a C plus, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is a C. Yeah, that's
You forgot Melvin Brother the Joker is a B also.
Melvin the Joker is a P.
You thought I wouldn't notice, but you didn't say it, and I did notice. So
I apologize. Well, that was the tier list for DC. What are your guys' thoughts on the next phase of DC with James Gunn? Are we excited? Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we crying?
I'm sure it'll be good, but I just want to die.
Well, that's unrelated. That's just normal.
That's just
you.
normal.
It's somewhat related.
Let me tell you, when you get a little closer to 30, you'll feel it twice as hard.
So close.
I'm excited for it. I think Superman Previously Legacy is probably going to be really good. I trust him to make a good movie. The only thing that has me concerned is that how many characters are cast in it. If there's one person that I would trust to have that many characters in it and do it well, it'd be him. So I'm optimistic. But, I can't get hurt again.
I can get hurt again. I think I've been hurt enough that the pain don't work no more. So that's my sort of optimistic take on it. Is like I've seen enough bad Superman movies where it's like if it's bad, then I just stop watching these movies and then I can move on with my life and I'm free. Like George Lopez said as that big robot face in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I'm free. That'll be me if it's bad. But I'm looking forward to it. I like James Gunn movies and I like Superman. So hopefully it'll work out.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap up. Man, it's been 3 hours. Let's wrap it up here.
Wow.
Anthony, where can they find you?
You can find me at Anthony Lantern on pretty much all social media platforms. You can also find me on YouTube, Anthony Reviews, where Anthony reviews. My most recent video is a video of me going into some of my recent purchases, kind of focusing on like hyper fixations and toy collecting, how I will get into a line and then I'll buy a bunch of those until I move on and then buy a bunch of another line, even if it's not like the main thing I collect. And then I am also on a podcast called The Grud, which is available on places like Apple Podcast and Spotify. So if you like what you hear here, check out there.
Yeah, you've been doing. You did X-Men, right? I couldn't listen to it because I'm not caught up to X-Men '97.
That's fair. Yes, we did a as weekly as we could review show of the X-Men '97 cartoon. And I would say if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't checked out X-Men '97, I highly recommend it. I think it's a really good show. And then when you're done, check out our review of the episodes, and you can kind of hear us like theorize and talk it out, and then see how it all turns out in the end.
Sounds good. Daniel, what about you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Daniel J. McGee or on my personal YouTube channel of Daniel McGee.
Skyler, where can you find you, man?
They can't.
Never let it
Witness protection.
No.
Damn. All right. Well, that's it for the tier list, and
Unite the Seven.
Unite the Seven.
We did it. Unite the Seven.
Oh yeah, brother.